Yeah, thanks guys for joining us. Yesterday we started our campaign, the interpretation of the Constitution of Western Nigeria. I think everybody now can authoritatively say that there's a constitution for the Yoruba people of Nigeria. And what this means is very simple. Any group of people with a constitution, it simply means that they are an independent nation to a large extent. Before Nigeria was created, Nigeria was actually never created in 1914. Nigeria became an independent nation in 1960. 1914 was a mere amalgamation because the English colonial thugs wanted to save costs rather than having three separate administrative posts in Yoruba land, in Igbo land, and in Hausa Fulani land, which respectively represented the Hausa Fulani region, the Igbo region, and the Yoruba region. Rather than for them to have three distinct administrative running these three separate people, they brought them together in what is called amalgamation without the input of the people involved. But in 1960, that was when we actually had independence. It got the involvement of the people of Nigeria into it. It was not just a proclamation from the English colonial thugs. No, they brought in Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa Fulani, and all of them collectively agreed to a political system. The system the three of them agreed to is parliamentary system of government, not the presidential system of government that we have. And three of them agreed to a regional system of government. Although it has to be noted that the Igbo nation, out of these three group of nations, the Igbo nation rejected regional government. The Igbo nation wanted unitary system. They wanted this unitary system to control others. But the other two wanted their own space to be separated, and that was what they got. So you have to be conscious of this. Amalgamation is not the problem of Nigeria. It is the suspension of an agreed constitution that brought Nigeria into existence on the 1st of October 1960 that is actually the problem of Nigeria. And we have to hold Igbo nation responsible for that. Unlike the English in America who were enslaving the other whites, they would never rule. And that is the truth. So now, the young people who are watching us at home, you will agree with us that amalgamation of 1914 is not a problem. The problem of Nigeria is the Igbo who suspended the parliamentary system along regional government. And then, like I said, this is just a recap of yesterday. Three people agreed to a political system. One of them used gun, killed the others, political leaders, and introduced a unitary system that they want. The system we've been practicing since 1960 was brought upon by us by Igbo. That is all they want. They've always wanted unitary system. So they replaced, even change our name. We were Federation of Nigeria. Federation means a group of nations that came together to form a country. Nigeria is a country. Nigeria is not a nation. There's a difference between a nation and a country. Country has to do with geographical expression. Nation has to do with people of the same language, people of the same culture, traditions, and norms and value system. My nationality is not Nigeria. It is wrong if you call yourself Nigerians. As a Yoruba citizen, my nationality is Yoruba. Nigeria is just a mere geographical expression of a country. I will also say this much. Nigeria is not a nation. It can never be. There will never be Nigerian language. There will never be Nigerian culture. There will never be Nigerian tradition. There will never be Nigeria food. There will never be Nigeria clothes. There will never be till Jesus Christ will come. But there will always be Yoruba culture, Yoruba language, Yoruba tradition, Yoruba food, Yoruba clothing. So you can't blame the English colonial thugs for our problem. We have to put this blame squarely where it belongs, Igbo nation, because of their greediness to appropriate what belongs to other. That is why we are facing problem in Nigeria today. So they single-handedly change our name to Federal Republic of Nigeria. They single-handedly suspended regional government and created the unitary system. They want it. You can't blame them, folks. Our desire as Yoruba people has always been one thing: parliamentary system under regional government. Tinubu even said it. As recently, he said that he has always believed in a decentralized democracy. He's talking about parliamentary system that is based on regional government. You cannot blame the Igbo. They have always desired one thing: unitary system that they imposed on us in 1960. So they used the power of the guns, which we call organized violence. When the English came to Yoruba land in 1851, they used the power of the guns. It was from that battle, the 1851 battle, that the world used gunboat diplomacy. That was what the English introduced to the world. They go to your country with their navy, with their army, they kill you and take over your space. That is how the gunboat diplomacy came into being. So the English came into Yoruba land to suppress us, but they never defeated us. I think young Yoruba have no idea about this. They came with guns, organized violence. When they first came in 1851, we fought them for 10 years. People just need to read. We have fought the English about 4 to 5 times. Different wars. But at no point in our history have they ever defeated us. And they cannot even defeat this generation that has never been colonized. Our generation has never been enslaved or colonized by anyone. The War of 1851 lasted for 10 years. It ended in 1861 when we signed a treaty with the English. Then we fought another war with them in 1855 when they deported free black slaves from England. They dumped them in Lagos. People forget history. Madam Tinubu, who is from the same as Chiwadu Tinubu's lineage, fought along with other Yoruba that we will not accept black slaves that are not Yoruba, dumped in Yoruba land. We rejected them and they sent them back to England. Then we fought the English in 1892, Ijebu War with the English. The English did not defeat the Ijebu. They signed an agreement that every year they will be paying Ijebu £500 to use the waterways. When people talk about Lagos, they say, who are the Lagosians? Lagos actually belongs to Ijebu. Ikorodu, Epe belongs to Ijebu people. The Ijebu went to war with the English over the waterways in Lagos. The Ijebu signed agreement with the English to give Ikorodu to the Lagos colony. We fought that war of 1892 with the English. We signed an agreement. They never defeated us. They were supposed to be paying the Ijebu people £500 every year for using our waterway. Then we fought the English in 1901 over Ilorin. And many young Yoruba will open their mouth and said, oh, Fulani took Ilorin from you. You go and read history. It was the English who took Ilorin from us, not Fulani. We went to war with the English in 1901. They wanted to fight with Alhaji Inokoju Alalamu of Alalamu family, the real ruler of Ilorin. He was deposed and taken to Jeba. Yet, the English couldn't defeat us there. They had to negotiate with that man. Because the Yoruba killed 3 different emirs who were Fulani and 3 different English colonial officers who were sent to Ilorin. That was when the English came in 1901 to fight against Alhaji Inokoju Alalamu of Alalamu family. I was looking at stupid idiot in Amdekan saying that Fulani took Ilorin from him. It's the irresponsible English that helped the Fulani, yet go to Ilorin today, it is 99.9% Yoruba people. Unfortunately, because Fulani have always been in the presidency, that is why till today, Kwara State and Kogi State are still being categorized as part of North Central. But you cannot blame the English colonial thugs. You can't blame them. Because when the Ijaw people were fed up with the subjugation of the Igbo, they sent a delegation to the Queen. The Queen sent a representative. That representative made a recommendation that the Yoruba people in today Kwara State and Yoruba people in today Kogi State, they were called Ilorin and Kabaden, that they should be merged with the Western region. It was Zik who impressed it on Tafawa Balewa not to allow the Yoruba in these two areas to be merged with Western region. There were referenda, various referendum from Ilorin Town Council to Ilorin District Council to from Taba Town Council to Taba District Council. They did referendum in all of this council, and the majority voted that they want to be part of the Western region. Igbo, Zik, stopped it. The records are there. These are not things that we are just talking about. These are real facts. The Yoruba number one enemy is the Igbo, yet our women are marrying to them. Yet we allow them influx into our space. These guys have been fighting us since the very first day they got to Lagos in 1945. So you will see from what we discussed with you yesterday that the Igbo, after they suspended regional government, they single-handedly introduced unitary system. Some stupid liberal will say to you, oh, even if Tinubu is the president, they can't do anything. Igbo and Fulani made Nigeria a presidential system with an executive order. When Tinubu gets into the presidency, that is when you will appreciate lawyers. A lot of Igbo and Fulani will end up in Supreme Court, fighting a lost battle. Because we are going to make sure that Nigeria returns back to regional government. You have to use your strength when it comes to negotiation. That was why Tinubu recently was quoted, saying that you don't take power. Power is not given based on emotion. You strategize, you negotiate, and you work assiduously to get what we want. He believes in organized violence. The English came to Yoruba land, suppressed us with organized violence. The Igbo came to Yoruba land, killed a sitting premier of Yoruba land, Akintola. They assassinated him through organized violence. The Fulani are maintaining the unitary system introduced by the Igbo. They are maintaining it via organized violence. Some people say they want to go and protest October 1st. People don't have sense of history, and we don't keep records. Buhari won election in 2015, right? That was the first time. He's been losing election. He lost election 3 times. He won election in 2015. Go and check the record. Google it as I'm talking to you. In 2016, he brought in 2 fighter jets, killing Yoruba people in Lagos and Ogun, under the guise of looking for oil bunkers. He brought in fighter jets. Sorry, if Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, he's going to bring fighter jets to Lagos and Ogun State, killing people because they are stealing crude oil. No, is that a possibility? How come Buhari is not killing Hausa Fulani with fighter jets? So those of you who are saying that you want to go and protest on October 1, I'm going to still address that, because we're not in support of your protests. And I will appeal, when I get to that stage, I will appeal to the young Yoruba to attack you. I don't have to pretend. We don't have to pretend. We speak the truth. And I want to remind you, June 12, 2019, you organized Otoge rally in Lagos. Yeah. To attack Tinubu purposely. It was organized by Yoruba Koya, led by Deji Oshibogun. You know, some people who joined his group, they recorded him, sent us the voice note. We played the voice note for you in 2019, where he was saying that they are going to work with the Igbo. We instructed young Yoruba to go and attack them, and they did. They ran away from Fawayemi Park in Lagos. That is what will be your lot this time around if you dare bring any stupid protest to Yoruba land. We're not actually asking you not to protest. We're asking you to protest with weapon. Our people were killed in 1962, 63, 64 by the Igbo and Hausa Fulani. They were protesting with their fists, carrying placard. The same thing happened between 1993 to 1998. People went onto the street protesting with placard, were killed and shot by Igbo military officers, Hausa Fulani military officers, as well as police. Our generation cannot repeat that nonsense. We must protest with gun. That is how it is done. We are at war. For so long, since 1966, the Igbo and Hausa Fulani have been suppressing Yoruba nation. You don't go to protest with people who have the power of the gun. English came to your land with guns and killed your people in 1851. Igbo used organized violence on your people in 1966. Fulani has been maintaining the same thing. You know how many Yoruba that has been lost? How many Yoruba that has been killed over street protests? And their protests now is not even legitimate. It's not legitimate. The target is Tinubu. We know what is going on with the Yoruba World Congress. Those guys are anti-Tinubu. They never respected him. They never worked with him, but they want him to appoint them as commissioners. They want him to give them the governorship ticket. Because they can't get that, they're antagonizing him. Yoruba World Congress, we know the history of Banji Akintoye with Omobori Owe in Ondo State. When they caused the crisis in Ondo State, he ran away to America. They brought him back to come and finish the war. He didn't complete. We're going to deal with you. We know you. You just wanted to collect money from Fulani and the Igbo. That's all. Because you can't get money from Tinubu's side. You are not part of his circle. You never work with him. So he has his own people that he trusted so much that if they are in power, they would do according to the plan that he had for the Yoruba nation. You can compete with him through your political party, the PDP Yoruba. That's all. It shouldn't be your point of argument. But they want to protest because they feel that if they get money from Igbo and Fulani, they can do the nonsense. Also, part of what we spoke about yesterday was that the Igbos, after they suspended regional government, introduced unitary system, it is still a big shock to many that the Igbo actually created a 36 state that we have today. They created it in 1966. And we told you yesterday that the only reason why they created it is simple. There was no state. Nobody can call himself, I'm from Ondo State, or I'm from Lagos State. These things were created in 1966 by the Igbo. We were all Yoruba. We were a bloc. So it was difficult for the Igbo to break us as a unit. So they created states. That's why today, Governor Sanwo-Olu will be talking about healthcare, completely devoid of what is going on in terms of healthcare in Ekiti. But luckily for us, the Conservative came up with Dawn Commission that is doing regional integration. But still, we don't still have that integration that we desire so much to bring about development. That's why we are interpreting the constitution that we have before the Igbo suspended it. You see, the 36 state system that we had is something that we need to explain to you. People think there's no big deal to divide a people. In England, in Scotland, they also have states. They don't call it states. But all the states in England, they are under a bloc, England. All the states in Scotland, they are under a bloc, Scotland. But all the states in Yoruba land, we do things differently. We should be under a bloc. There should be a leader. And some people say that because America have 50 states, there's nothing big, there's no big deal about the 36 states in Nigeria. America is a country of immigrants. 7 people left their respective homeland, running away from persecution as a result of their political views and religious dictates. Many of them do not subscribe to Catholicism. They wanted to have another religion, and they were being killed in their respective country by the government. Many of them rejected the monarchical system of government. So what do? They ran away to the New World. America was actually called New World. Who are these people? The English, the French, the Dutch, the Spanish, the Italian, the Portuguese, and the Belgian. 7 of them. When they got to America, they decided that, look, we are different people. Even though all of them are white, we're different people. They have different language, different culture. They are not. So they agreed to have federalism along presidential system and created state for each of these 7 nations. If you go to Germany, there is a state that is predominantly, if you go to the United States of America, there is a state that is predominantly Germans. Other states are predominantly English. Other states are predominantly French. So the state they created doesn't mean that we have to apply. Nigeria is a country of indigenous people. Nigeria is not a country of immigrants. America is a country of immigrants. That's when their politicians speak. They speak the truth that they are all immigrants there. So the greatest state, and each state is like an independent nation in America. Each state controls its own police. Each state controls its own military. Each state controls its own tax revenue. Each state controls its own natural resources. Majority of people in Nigeria just think that Nigeria is the only country with crude oil. England has crude oil. Do they premise their budget on the sales of crude oil? No. America is not running a budget based on the price of crude oil. Why must Buhari control people's crude oil? Why must Buhari, the president of Nigeria, be in charge of our police? Why must Buhari be in charge of our military? So people think because America is running states structure, the 36th state is cool. It's destroying the Yoruba nation. We must be one block under a prime minister. And the state within our region will still run their own. We don't need governors, we need mayors. Only one person will be governor, that will be Oni of Ife, which we addressed yesterday. And we are now going to address the legislature, which comes because we have two houses of assembly in Yoruba land. The House of Chief, which we told you it will be called House of Oba, because it is ridiculous on the part of the English colonial talks to call our Obas chief. Very insulting. You see, these things have been there. Igbo came with guns and destroyed everything. Fulani are maintaining everything that the Igbo created with guns. That's why if you talk as Yoruba, but that's the reason why I can't come home. They will just put me in prison. If we run regional government, Buhari cannot dare to arrest me. The moment I get into Lagos, I get into the regional government of Yoruba. Yoruba will not arrest me. But we run a unitary system. Fulani controls everything in Yoruba land. So that's why it's extremely difficult for us. Because Igbo destroy it with the power of guns. Fulani are maintaining unitary system with the power of guns. That's why we subscribe to organized violence. We believe in the use of guns and chemical weapons. If we do not use chemical weapons, believe you me, they will continue to suppress and subjugate the Yoruba nation. So don't think because America uses states, we have to adopt state system. No. Look at the United Kingdom. Are English immigrant in UK? No, they are indigenous. The Scottish are indigenous. The Welsh are indigenous. The Northern Irish are indigenous to the United Kingdom. They are not immigrants. So they did not create states as their federating unit. They created regions: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Regions. Nigeria is not a nation or a country of immigrants. It's a country of indigenous people. The indigenous people must be grouped together as one block. Yoruba region, Hausa region, Kanuri region, Igbo region, Ijo region, Edo Urobo region, Efik-Ibibio region, Western Middle Belt region, Central Middle Belt region, Eastern Middle Belt region. These are the 10 regions that must be created by Tinubu whenever he comes on board as the president of Nigeria. So when we have Yoruba region, we can create as many states as we so desire. We can create as many local government as we so desire. But all of these people must be under one government because we are not immigrants. We cannot treat our space as immigrant. That's why somebody will say that, oh, I'm from Ondo State. An identity created for you by the Igbo. Like you also witnessed yesterday from evidence-based statement. The Igbo people created what is called Federal Civil Service. Before 1966, there was nothing like Federal Civil Service. We have regional public service. So there is Yoruba public service, Igbo public service, Hausa public service. That's what we had before 1960. What this means that the people don't still get it. Before 1966, any federal government of Nigeria agencies, they're not actually called federal government. The Igbo introduced that word federal. They were called central government. Central government do have agencies across all the 3 regions. So any agencies of the central government of Nigeria in Yoruba region, it is only Yoruba people that are permitted to work there. For instance, I give you an example. Prisons in Yoruba regions, it is Yoruba people that are working there. Prisons in Igbo region, it is Igbo people that are working there. Prisons in Hausa Fulani region, it is Hausa Fulani people that are working there. Sometimes this might be federal government prisons. But what do you have? When the Igbo came in, they wanted to work in all the federal government agencies across Nigeria. They wanted to control everybody. So what do? They merge all the regional public services together and turn them into federal civil service. And you cannot employ people without the dictate and authority of the Igbo. So that's why you will see Igbo in all the federal government agencies across Yoruba land. That's why your daughters are into prostitution, because the jobs in Yoruba land has been given to Igbo and Fulani. That's why your boys are doing Yahoo Yahoo. I tell you this is just not a digress. Over the weekend, today is Wednesday if I'm right. On Saturday, I was invited to a birthday party. I had no clue of the person I'm going to meet. And this guy who just turned 22 was the grandson of Anthony Enaworo. So when I was being introduced, the person I went to the party with, as I already told them, who are Adeyinka grandson. And these guys are not really Nigerians. The people there, they are not really Nigerians. It's a close circle family birthday because of the coronavirus. So the moment they introduced me, Adeyinka grandson, he doesn't like to be addressed as Nigerians. He likes to be addressed as Yoruba. So this celebrant came to meet me, a 22-year-old guy. And he said, look, I'm the grandson of Anthony Enaworo. He made mention of Peter Enaworo. He started talking to me and he started telling me about his grandfather. And I was telling him that Anthony Enaworo was a very close pal of Awolowo. He was even jailed along with Awolowo, but then he escaped to London. He was in London. We started talking. And while we were talking, I found out that he also studied economics, and then we were discussing something. I said to him that your category age people, majority of you have been arrested for Yahoo Yahoo. And he said, yeah, he knew about it. I just asked him as an economist, what do you think is the solution to this Yahoo Yahoo and prostitution? He told me that this prostitution is endemic across our university. He said to me, the solution, he said, if this student can get student loan. I don't think he has ever watched my video. But he's an economist, so I expected him to be extremely brilliant when it comes to running of a nation. He said to me clearly, and this is what we've always been saying, you want to solve the problem of Yahoo Yahoo, you want to solve the problem of prostitution, give these people student loan. ₦1 million every year for 4 years, that's 4 million naira. They will not pay a dime until they start working. You will see there will be a reduction in Yahoo Yahoo. There will be a reduction in Olosho. The brilliant guy said that to me. But he has been so brainwashed by a lot of Igbo propaganda, I have to turn the party into a campaign platform. People were listening to me. But you see, there's a problem. The Igbo created the federal civil service in order to appropriate the jobs, the federal government jobs in Yoruba land, as well as the federal government jobs in Hausa Fulani land. We stated all of this yesterday. There's a need to recap what we started yesterday so that you get this thing very clearly. So that is why the Igbo, they come into Yoruba land, we say, we don't want you. They say, we are one Nigeria. They go to Ghana and commit their crime. They go to Togo and commit their crime. They go to Benin Republic and commit their crime. And Ghanaians want to chase them away. They said, no, ECOWAS protocol. You can't chase us away. They go to South Africa. They are committing crime, raping their women, abusing their women, killing their people. South Africans say, you go back to your space. No, we are Pan-Africans. We are the same thing with black skin. These guys are horrible. But they continue to troop into our space because we don't have our own son as the president of Nigeria. And yet we, Yoruba, are the majority ethnic group in Africa. We are the economic backbone of Nigeria. Imagine African America ruling over white Americans who are the majority. Imagine Scottish ruling over the English as Premier in United Kingdom. Do you think the English will accept that? They will not. But this irresponsible English establishment continue to support minority Fulani to rule over the Yoruba. So when you see Igbo people condemning Buhari or Fulani, that is the exact thing. What the Fulani are doing today, Igbo started it. But they will never be president of Nigeria. I have absolute confidence in that. They will never be. Their greediness destroys Nigeria. They don't know that the greatest human resources on this planet Earth is human capital. You train a child. I have given an example before when my son was born. The doctor said he will never read, he will never write. You're telling a father that your son will never read, he will never write. My son always gesticulates. He wants to drink water, he will be saying, at 3 years old, I took complete determination to make him to read and write. I bought a CD called Your Baby Can Read from America. I started playing into this guy. There was a flip book that I bought for him. You will see a picture, you flip through it, you say, boy. You close it and you bring another one, bottle. I would take him through train station, reading train stations to him every now and then. By the time he became 4 years old, he was speaking. When he turned 5, he was writing his name and his surname. Brain. It's a terrible thing to waste. Igbo don't have it. That's why they are destroying everywhere they go to. Name those countries. They have been massacred in Hausa land and in the entire north since 1945. They kill them. They kill them. Not because these people love to kill, because the Igbo are common criminals. Go to South Africa, they are killing them. They kick them out of Ghana, Togo, Benin Republic, Angola, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Uganda, Tanzania. They kick the Igbo out because of their criminality. In Thailand, in India, in Indonesia, and in the United Arab Emirates, Igbo are constituting nuisance in these respective countries that I've mentioned. They have been imprisoned and kicked out of Malaysia and Singapore. We saw the video, they recently assaulted them in China. They are horrible people. They should not come to Yoruba land anymore. We have to regulate their influx into our space. They destroy Lagos. If you look at the Economic Intelligence Unit report, Lagos is the worst city to live on planet Earth. The worst city to live on planet Earth, Lagos. Lagos is more dangerous than Damascus, where civil war is currently going on. Igbo made Lagos to be the worst city to live on planet Earth. They destroyed Nigeria. That's why they hated Awolowo, because Awolowo gave a speech in 1967. He said that there must be a return back to regional government. There must be decentralization of the police and the military. You say to the Igbo, let us decentralize the police. You control your police in your space. They will say no, one Nigeria, because they use the unitary police to kill our children. Igbo who work as police officers and military men in Yoruba land as armed robbers. They are armed robbers and kidnappers. How can we give guns to foreigners? This is much I said to the police who came to arrest me last year. 35 of them. I told them, will you accept if Scottish are the one police in England? They said to me, no. But that is what we have to put up as Yoruba people. We cannot even police our own society. Imagine if black are the one policing California. California has 94% white. Go and put black there, policing that space. Black will kill a lot of these white people. But the Caucasians will never accept that. The English knows what the Fulani are doing to us because they are using Fulani to steal our wealth. That's why they continue to support the minority Fulani. We must face the challenges that the Igbo constitute to us as a people. It is not the amalgamation that destroyed Nigeria. It is the suspension of the agreed constitution, agreed parliamentary system, agreed regional government by the Igbo that destroyed this beautiful nation. We as Yoruba people, we have deep-seated hatred for the Igbo. Igbo knows this. We don't like you. You are common criminals. You've never supported our political interests. You've always been voting for Fulani. You voted for them 9 out of 11 federal elections. Half of your people are living in Yoruba land. Yet you have never supported our political interests. There is no crime that they do not commit in Yoruba land. Fashola said this much. 500,000 people across Yoruba land die every year from taking fake and adulterated drug sold by Igbo criminals. Fake beverages. They do all manners of crimes across Yoruba land. Where you have reasonable political leaders, you are asking electorate to vote for your party. Yet you don't want to address the criminality of the Igbo. You have graduates. They are being killed by the Igbo. You don't want to address this. You run unitary system organized by the Igbo in which their governors will go to Abuja, take monthly allocation from the money generated in Yoruba land. You don't want to address this. Look, my mother once told me that if you read too much, you will never be happy. But I think she might be right. Majority of our members are not happy. But there's another thing that I know. If you read too much, you will be willing to kill. That is the truth. Because we have seen the problem of the Yoruba nation. We can envision what is going to happen to our own children. Our parents today in their old age are regretting their action. They ask us for health care. They ask us for feeding allowance. They ask us to pay their rent. They ask us for everything. That's why a lot of us are doing yahoo yahoo and prostitution, doing fraud. Because of the irresponsible of our parents, always asking us for one thing or the other. When they were young, they never thought about their future. If they do, they will never have accepted unity system that is taking resources from their land, going to Abuja, using it to benefit Hausa, Fulani, and the Igbo. So now that we have read so much, we believe the solution to the problem of the Yoruba nation is organized violence. Igbo will never stop coming into our space. 6.7 million of them every fucking year. Fulani will never stop controlling our police. They will never stop in controlling our military. Look at what the Fulani are saying that they want to control Amotekun. They will never stop until we fight and kill them. They will never stop. So when you read too much, you will be willing to kill because you can see the subjugation of your people. And you will do something. Because if we do not, in our old age, it will be terrible. Look at the Yoruba Libra in England. I know them, Citizen AY. Look at how haggard that guy is. He should be in his late 50s. Living in England, looking terrible. He sits in front of computers, spewing rubbish. They want to go and protest in London, stupid people. They don't know that it is the English that is constituting nuisance to their life. They want to go and protest in London. Stupid people. Look at that one who called himself Frank Bello. He speaks like a gay. I don't like gay. Yeah, it is my right. They want to impress gay on us. Why is it that the English are not going to accept polygamy in their own country? But they want us to be gay in our country. Frank Bello, go and look at him. He looks terribly hopeless. They've lived several years in England speaking rubbish. They support Atiku. They sit and look at all of them in England. It's a terrible space to live, particularly if you are extremely precocious and brilliant mind. As Yoruba people, your brain will mess up. One of our donors was telling me recently when we went out, But he has met a lot of Yoruba in London, speaking to themselves while walking on the street. Their brain has been damaged because of the system that does not allow them to attain their full human potential. We have so much wealth in Yoruba land, but we've been pushed aside. We've been destroying our own space. Somebody is reminding me, Olayomi Koiki, he will sit around and talk shit on Tinubu. But someone said to me that he respects me so much, he watched my video, and I said, well, I would have loved to respect him too, but he talks rubbish almost every now and then. We want to do Dual Republic, shouting like an idiot. You want to go and protest in London. English are responsible for your horrible life. In case you don't know, it is English that are stealing your wealth. All the beautiful things you steal in London, English are stealing your wealth. You know, we challenged David Cameron when he was a sitting prime minister. He went to Lagos. Thank you, madam, for reminding me about depression. A lot of Yoruba are facing depression here in England. David Cameron went to Lagos. He was lying, saying that they are giving Nigeria international aid to build hospital for children. Shit nonsense. We challenge him. You are stealing our crude oil. You are the concessionary managing our port. Your businesses are making huge profit in Yoruba and you are telling us you are giving us aid. Something you stole from our space. So tell these stupid liberals in England, write to Boris Johnson, challenge Boris Johnson, tell him to break up Nigeria, that you will leave his country. He will not, because they are stealing your wealth in Yoruba land to build England. We told you one time ago that Liverpool, not Liverpool Street in London, Liverpool town here in England, that town, their road were built with the money stolen from Yoruba land. Their road in Liverpool was tiled with bitumen stolen from Ondo Axis. They're saying we want to go and protest. You want to go and protest? On May 1 in London, idiot. Go and face Boris Johnson. Stop going to the Nigerian embassy. It's add no value to your life. You just go there, you meet up, you hang out, you ended up in a restaurant to drink beer, and you go home and sleep. Stupid people. You're protesting in England. Do you see English protesting in Yoruba land if they have problem with their government? We're asking you, if you must protest, protest with weapon. We cannot do the stupidity of our parents protesting with placard, protesting with their fists. You must protest with weapon. The time for protest is not now. It will come. I can see war in that country because our generation will not accept this subjugation. So you tell yourself, Heritage TV, Oduduwa TV radio, all of you are looking at that. Very poor people. You're doing shit job. Are you going to be proud to tell people this is what you do with your qualification? This is the job you are doing in England? You sit in front of computer making shit nonsense. You want to go and protest in London. English are responsible for your fucking problem that you are having in Yoruba land. English are the people supporting minority Fulani to be in power. They give weapon to Fulani to fucking kill you. They have killed a lot of your leader, Fulani, through the support of the English. Tell Boris Johnson that you want to leave his country. You want to go back to Yoruba land on one condition: if Nigeria breaks. You will see. Go and listen to his reply. They are stealing your wealth, English. Their businesses in Yoruba land. And we know what we're going to do to them. We've been saying it openly. We're going to nationalize their businesses. If we said to Standard Chartered Bank, you know, I've been mentioning that bank. We said to them, you shut down your banking activities. They do not stop. We can go there and set fire in their head office. It is in our homeland. We are going to treat English businesses the way they treat us in their country. We're going to undermine English businesses in Yoruba land because they support minority Fulani to be subjugating us, the Yoruba majority. You don't embrace your enemy, you confront them. That is how you are going to be respected. Igbo had the problem of Nigeria. Igbo are the #1 enemy of the Yoruba. We must suppress these people at all costs and by all means in our space. We're not going to their homeland to attack them. But in our space, Igbo cannot live better life than us. We're saying to the Lagos state government, come and speak to the Yoruba who lives in England. They live in deprived community. Non-Yoruba cannot be living in Victoria Island, in Ikoyi, in Lekki, in Ajah. Non-Yoruba cannot be living in these places. It must be reserved solely for Yoruba people. We must think like civilized people willing to practice self-preservation. And if you look at this speech of Professor Yemi Osinbajo, he spoke about self-preservation today. We shared it to you. And people are actually, whatever we say as wow, people are picking a lot of clue, a lot of ideas and ideals from what you say, including this stupid boy Nnamdi Kanu. This is a man that was attacking the Caucasian, condemning them. Now he's saying that the Igbo should go and attend the Republican convention. Igbo should lobby. Igbo are now lobbying, asking the United States of America to come and send a special envoy to Nigeria. These are all ideas and ideas of the young Yoruba for freedom. Everybody is just speaking all about ideas. But I've been saying to this, as an economist, we shape the world. We shape our nation. You can pick up our idea, but we have never asked for special envoy to Nigeria. We have always been asking the good people of the United States of America to send special envoy to Yoruba land. They are going to be on the table while we negotiate for our way out of Nigeria. If you don't get allies, you will never be free, folks. Ẹni tó lẹ́yìn lẹ́yìn, only ajá tó lẹ́yìn lẹ́yìn ló ń bọ̀bọ̀. So everything you see the Fulani doing today, it is on the templates of the Igbo. And let me tell you, in private, the Igbo and Hausa Fulani and 5 and 6, they are very close. Outside, they antagonize themselves. Inside, they connive together to control your waterways, to control your crude oil, Yoruba. I've been saying to people that that's external reserve. The money belongs to Yoruba nation. They say, oh, this is how much we have. This sales from crude oil. The crude oil in Nigeria actually belongs to the Yoruba. Yoruba has the majority stake in the crude oil production. We've been telling people just don't get it. When we say Niger Delta, it is not one nation. It is about at least 5 nations. Edo, Urobo, Ijo, Efik, and Ibibio, and others. Collectively, they are responsible for 65% of the crude oil production in Nigeria. If you break it down to these 5 regions, Ijo has the highest, 16%. But Yoruba alone, we are responsible for 35% production of crude oil production in Nigeria. That external reserve belongs to you, Yoruba. But who controls it? Fulani and English. They will sell your crude oil in the international market. They keep the money in London. The English use your money to build housing estate for their people, to do their roads, to give us loan for their businesses. They know if Tinubu is the president, we're going to stop that nonsense. Why must the federal government control crude oil? Is it President Trump who is controlling the crude oil in the United States? No, it's not. But in Nigeria, the federal government controls the crude oil. That is why the English give weapons to Fulani. So to you, Libra, who want to go and protest in London, idiot, you are protesting in London, people who are trying to destroy your humanity. Fulani has no crude oil. They control NNPC. It is from the template of the Igbo. That was what the Igbo desired before they were killed and chased away from power by the Hausa Fulani. Now you think about this. Fulani has no crude oil. They are the controller of NNPC. Their children are living large. Yoruba children are washing toilet for English. They are cleaning English hospitals. I was telling a woman who works as carer. I said to her, you're working as carer, you're taking care of elderly English people and English disabled people. Their children are giving weapons to Fulani to suppress your home parent in Yoruba land. I asked her, does that make common sense? Fulani has no crude oil. Go to NNPC, it is their children that are working there. You have PhD Yoruba, you have master's degree, you have Bachelor of Science degree. Your highest success is to come to England and work as carer. Is to come to England and work as security guard. Is to come to England and drive kabu. Fulani with no education whatsoever control your crude oil. You are foolish people. That is why the conservative youth will resort to organized violence with chemical and biological weapons. Fulani are already speaking to the Chinese to come and help them to stockpile chemical weapons. But the stupid Libra, it is Tinubu that is their target. horrible people. They want to go onto the street of London. The very first time I first came to London, I always see these people coming around and protesting. You are protesting in England, the same country that is responsible for your downfall. President Trump said Nigeria is a shithole. England is responsible for Nigeria being a shithole. Wealth. Fulani has no waterways. They control your waterways. They control your ports. They said Nigeria is not negotiable. I like the concept of TNN, Tinubu non-negotiable. We are going to give it back to Fulani. We're going to give it back to you. Let me say this to you, to conservative. Don't think the English don't want Tinubu as president of Nigeria. Don't fall for any stupidity. The English don't want Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. Fulani, even Buhari, he does not want Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. The Igbo, they don't want Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. The Libras, they don't want Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. The Yoruba Libra. Organized violence will solve this. That's why we've been telling you. You go back to your secondary school. You go back to your polytechnic, to your university, and come up with chemical and biological weapons to defend Yoruba civilization. They don't want Tinubu, but I have good news for you. The United States of America, God bless that country. They want Tinubu as president of Nigeria because we are willing to share our wealth with the United States. If you call them in, it is not going to be free. Why do you think English are supporting Fulani? Because English are stealing your wealth in Yoruba land. Who made it so? Fulani. So that is the common sense you have to apply. So those of you said you want to protest, well, I will address your protests. I'm still doing recap before we go to chapter 2 of the Constitution of Western Nigeria. That's what they do. Fulani are controlling our waterways from the template of the Igbo. Some people are circulating bills and said, water bills, they are going to take our waterways. Stupid people. In 1975, they took your port. They are building Lekki Seaport. Lagos State government is building Lekki Seaport. Awolowo refurbished Apapa Wharf. Apapa Wharf was built before Nigeria was created in 1914. Apapa Wharf was built in 1913. There was no Yoruba there. Go there if your children will get job. Apapa Wharf. You will rather come and clean toilet for English. Idiot people. They will not sit in front of computer blaming Tinubu. That's why I asked them. I once asked Mayegun of Inewi, what did you study in university? I asked all these citizens in AY, David Hamilton, I remember all of them. Go and just ask these guys, what exactly is the job that you are doing in England? You just tell the public. Everybody knows that I'm out of job since last year, after they arrested me for terrorism, because I have to face charges of racial hatred. When I do 90 days campaign, 60 days campaign, I work. And I still have passion to do what I'm doing. Tell us, what are you doing? The only thing they condemn in their life is Tinubu. That is the same thing the Igbo have always been doing. They condemn Awolowo, they condemn Abiola, they condemn Falaye. They said Awolowo is a tribalist. They said Abiola is an Islamist. They said Olufalaye is a militarist. They said Tinubu is corrupt. Igbo, aye ima baje. Wọ́n máa pa yín nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, wọ́n máa pa yín on an industrial scale ni. Imagine. Because the Igbo created the Federal Civil Service, after they merged all the public services from the region, today Fulani are controlling all our customs. Go to Lagos, go across Yoruba, and we have 11 custom command. It is Hausa, Fulani, and the Igbo who are predominantly working there. They shout one Nigeria. We are going to kill you with that one Nigeria. That one Nigeria will kill you. They have customs in Hausa, Fulani. They have customs offices there. But they still work in our own custom offices. Likewise, Igbo. They have immigration offices in Hausa, Fulani land. They have immigration offices in Igbo land. They still come to our space and take this job away from us. That's why, oh man, one of the lady anchoring our program on radio, Yoruba Family, Moji Sola Duke or Adunios, I forgot her second name. She was telling me, she spoke with an Igbo guy at a election lawyer market. She said, I say this woman, Alaja, I don't fuck her. Even that Elijah herself. And they come my shop. And they come my shop. Come they shake her bomb. I don't fuck her. He was mentioning how the married women, Yoruba married women he was sleeping with. And these are Igbo that are doing crimes every night as armed robbers, using the proceeds of their crime to take over our shops from our women. And our women are so cheap, they are now gone into prostitution. We're going to change the course of history, you will see. And people don't know this. As see, 1942 is not too long ago. The Japanese in America, they were rounded up and they were killed. There was an executive order to that fact. Go and see. It's just 1942. Before America went as far as Japan and dropped atomic bomb on them. We're going to deal with Igbo. You believe it. They've done a lot of damage. Everything you see Fulani are doing today, Igbo are responsible for it. It is their template. So when you see both of them abusing each other on the pages of newspaper, you see Igbo leader, you see Igbo youth abusing Fulani. In private, both of them are popping champagne because they control our port. They control our police, they do everything. We're going to deal with them. So folks, that was just a similar recap of what we said yesterday, or recap of what we said. So like I said, yesterday, if you can still remember, I said we're going to focus on 10 things in regards to this constitution. Number one is the political leadership of the Yoruba nation as established in the constitution of Western Nigeria. There are three most important offices in Yoruba land. The office of the governor of the Yoruba land. It's not your regular state governor of your state, governor of those states. No, governor of the entire Yoruba land. We are not going to call him governor again. It's only one man that is always occupying that post. It is not available to anybody. It's available to only one man. The Queen of England and the King of England are the head of state of England. No other family can be head of state. We also had the same system before the Igbo destroyed. So I said to you yesterday, we can no longer call that office of the governor of Yoruba land. It will be head of state. The only one man must occupy that position, the Oni of Ife. So that was why I said yesterday, if we say Oni of Ife, we must add his office to it. Oni of Ife, head of state of Yoruba land. So we will be talking about the political leadership of Yoruba nation. I said there are three most important leadership. The second one is the president of Yoruba land, and is the president of the House of Chiefs. And we said that it's an insult on the Yoruba nation. The English call it House of Chiefs, yet they respect their own in their own country. They call it House of Lord. Oni of Ife is not a chief, like I said yesterday. Alaafin is not a chief. Awujale is not a chief. Akari-Igbo is not a chief. The position of my grandfather in Akoko is not a chief. It's an Oba. Oba of Lagos is not a chief. So many fantastic Obas like that. They are not chiefs, they are Obas. So we're going to change that to the House of Oba. That is the second most important position. Only one person occupies that position of president of Yoruba land. It is not something that you share with other people. One person, and that person is Alaafin. It is written in your constitution. The third most powerful position in Yoruba land, like I said yesterday, is the office of the premier. We're going to change the name from premier to prime minister. That is the topmost office. That office must not be occupied by an Oba. It must be occupied by commoners. Commoner simply means the subject. Somebody that is not a king. You understand? So the first role, head of state, Oni of Ife, president, Alaafin. The premier, which we now call the prime minister, must be occupied by ordinary people. And today, that office is not vacant. From the constitution of the Western Nigeria, it is the party with majority that must produce the prime minister. And the party with majority in Yoruba land is the Yoruba APC. And they have a leader that all the liberal want to kill. That man is Tinubu. Is your de facto prime minister of Yoruba land. Iba Gani Adam, you may not like it. That is it. You can't win election. Tinubu has been winning election for years. PDP, you may not like it. It's your de facto prime minister. All of you in Yoruba World Congress, you are just pretending all over the place. Your Congress has been divided into two now. It's a shame, but we do not wish you evil. But we just want you to resolve your differences. Because you bring in Origi to Origbe together. That's why your group is just messing around. There's nothing you can do about it. All of you Libra, Yoruba that are, a lot of Yoruba Libra are in England. It's a terrible place for them to live anyway. England is not a very good place for brilliant mind, I tell you. Your brain will just turn. You'll just be mad. There's nothing you can do about it. We're talking based on fact. So folks, we will be talking about that, the political leadership. That's the first one. But I'm still talking about the political leadership of Yoruba land, which I started yesterday. Why is this? What is wrong with this one? Which I started yesterday. We will move more onto that. There's another thing that we plan to talk about, which might be tomorrow or day after tomorrow, is the false narrative of the not too young to rule. In the constitution of Yoruba Western region, the moment you turn 21 years old, you can contest for an election. So the not too young to rule, they just signed into law, is still, it has always been that. That's why people like Obafemi Awolowo started at the age of 23. The moment you turn 21, you can be governor, you can be you can't be governor, you can be premier, you can be MP, you can be anything. It has always been there. So it's this false narrative that it is this new consciousness of not too young to rule because we don't read. That's what we think. Under the constitution of Western Nigeria, that is the most important thing you're going to find here. The judges of the customary court, the magistrate court, the high court, and the court of appeal were all Yoruba, and the courts in Yoruba land were under the Yoruba regional government. What do you have today after the Igbo suspended regional government? Go to our high court in Yoruba land. Go to our court of appeal in Yoruba land. It's Hausa Fulani that you see there. Putting our children in prison. Just look at EFCC. EFCC in Yoruba land. It is Hausa Fulani that are working there. They just conquer you on all fronts. This is what I was saying to the police. They're telling you, oh, they asked me to be like Mandela. I said, you must be silly. Why should I be like Mandela? So you should be killing my people. I should not be preaching non-violence. It's stupid. I'm Winston Churchill. I believe in violence. If you violate me, I am going to violate you. My generation will fight and we're going to go to war. EFCC, our children cannot even work there. They have EFCC offices in Hausa Fulani land. Go there. It is still Hausa Fulani children that you see. These guys, they do things with boldness. That, they've conquered our parents. They say, you can't talk. Come to Lagos, go to Ogun State, go to Ibadan, EFCC. It is Hausa Fulani that you see. So they arrest our children. They take them to court. It is Hausa Fulani who are the judges. You are going to see chapter 5 when he spoke about the courts in Yoruba land in this constitution. Today you have Hausa Fulani and Igbo judges. We have our own electoral commission. We have our own electoral commission. These are what we have read from the constitution that we want to enlighten you with. Today, you want to contest election in Yoruba land, it is Abuja that will be there. That was why Obasanjo was able to rig out all the conservative governors in 2003, except Tinubu. Under regional government, elections in Yoruba land were conducted by our own INEC, Electoral Commission. There were Yoruba people there. But today it is federal government that is conducting election. Igbo brought all this nonsense about. In the constitution of Western Nigeria, you will see that the creation of local government was done by Yoruba people. Somebody mentioned the name of this guy who is the Minister of Labor. Keyamo or something. Yeah, Keyamo. He said that they are going to create 774,000 jobs according to number of local government. Under regional government, we were creating our own local government by ourselves. Igbo suspended that. Hausa Fulani bans on that. They started creating local government. They created more local government to themselves. Under regional government, we Yoruba, we created our own local government. It is written in our constitution. There's another thing I found very beautiful in that constitution. Every 8 to 10 years, we must create a new town. Beautiful. Every 8 years, a new town must be created in Yoruba land. The English are doing the same thing. Many years ago, when there are too many black people in London, the English were fed up. They don't want to live with black people. They want to be free and live with themselves. They created Milton Keynes, a new town entirely. They built it from scratch. The Constitution of Western Nigeria says that every 8 to 10 years, a new town must be created. Ibadan was created. There's so many new towns that were created in Yoruba land. We always create Ibadan. Ibadan was created by this guy, Jagun from Ile-Ife. He brought Ijebu people, Ife people, and Ekiti people were there about to create Ibadan. Some stupid liberal who say, Tinubu is not from Lagos. Some of them have said to me that, oh, you go and contest election in Ondo Weri. I live all my life in Ibadan. That's why I'm contesting election. The Constitution says that we must create new towns every 8 to 10 years. But the Igbo suspended that. Otherwise, you see, we have created beautiful, beautiful, beautiful towns. And why was that? The Constitution says that each constituency, there were 94 constituencies. So you have to create new towns every 10 years. So there will be new constituency. Imagine if this thing has not been suspended, we will have created at least about 20 different towns now. And they will have representation. Another beauty of this constitution, it was very enlightening, was that each constituency must have almost the same number of people. Almost the same number of people. So where you have 1 million people in this constituency, the moment the population grows to say 2 million, you will have to create a new town. You have to divide that people into 2 constituencies. Very beautiful. Igbo just came with the guns and messed up everything about our life. They messed up our life big time. That's another thing that we will be talking about in this. Again, today, you know, the presidential system is extremely expensive. Extremely. In Oyo State, Osun State, Lagos State, all this mushroom state that has been created by the Igbo, they have state assemblies. Extremely expensive. The entire Yoruba region, under regional government, only 94 people were in the legislative assembly. Look at how expensive the politics is now. You know how many people that are members of the Lagos State Assembly? You know how many people that are members of Ogun State Assembly? Many people that are... It's way too expensive. Look at the Hausa Fulani with their states. Look at Igbo with their states. Let them go back to regional government. They will... All these 5 Igbo states will become 1 state. Because they get money from Yoruba land. Let the Hausa Fulani, let us go back to regional government. All these mushroom states they created with no human being there. They will march together. They created so many states with so many assemblies members, with so many elected politicians and appointed politicians, every one of them paid by the money generated in Yoruba land and Niger Delta. We said something many, many years ago. People don't take cognizance of that statement. We said, if you destroy one local government in Lagos, Apapa local government, you destroy everything there, including the ports. Believe you me, all this Hausa Fulani land and Igbo land, they will never be able to pay the salaries and allowances of their public service servant. That is the police, the military, the doctors, the teachers, name it. They will not be able to pay. With all these rubbish states they created, the funding is coming from Yoruba land and Niger Delta. And these people who have no money, and they continue to be president. People who have nothing, they continue to be president. Where do you think they are getting their power from? Illiterate Yoruba. Àwọn Hausa Fulani wọ́n lóògùn. Ògùn náà fi ń bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lórí burúkú àwọn tó ń fi bọn English fọ yín lórí dànù. Tó bá dún kòkò mọ́ Hausa á dún kòkò mọ́ ẹni. Because English wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Ìwọ jẹ́ kí Yankee yọjú. Tó bá bí yàrá ya English dà kó wá yanjú sí Yankee. Àwọn kan tún go, wọ́n nítorí pé Yankee funfun, English náà funfun, wọ́n jọ knife together, wọ́n ní help Yorùbá. Oh, mọ̀ pé politics náà play l'America. Tí President Trump bá fún wọn níṣẹ́, àwọn èèyàn ò ní dìbò fún. But tí President Trump ti rí contract lọ́dọ̀ Yorùbá, kí ni English fẹ́ ṣe? You guys don't have common sense. Only 94 legislative members control the entire Yoruba land. Look at how many we have now from all these states, drawing salaries from our wealth that is not even sufficient. Now add Igbo land to it. The entire Igbo land is the same size of Oyo State, but they have been divided into 5 states, 5 governors, 5 deputy governors, 5 state house of assembly, every one of them getting paid from Yoruba money. That's why you sit around in London. Depression ti fall share o níyàwó o lọ́kọ àwọn ọmọ tó bí gan ò ní lárí. Depression ti mú yín ẹ ti ya wèrè. Ìjókòó sórí kọ̀mpútà sọ pé Tinubu ní problem ìyálà ya bàbá ẹ̀ wèrè. The Igbo that are shouting we won't Biafra, tell them to accept regional government. They will never. Stupid Nnamdi Kanu, tell him to accept the military in Igbo land to be under the control of Nnamdi Kanu himself. He will say no. Tell him to accept that the control of the police be under him. He will say no, that we want Biafra. That's your Biafra. We give you Igbo-speaking Biafra. But they want other people's land. Something they couldn't get when they dissolved the regional government. They thought that they would be president forever. Fulani came and removed them. English are now supporting Fulani. It's the same style they are using to corner the wealth of the Ijaw people. The entire Yoruba land had 94 members of our legislative house. Today, we have thousands drawing salaries. They have thousands of members of the State House of Assembly in Igbo land. The same thing in Hausa Fulani land, in Kanuri land, in Middle Belt. All of them paid from the money generated from Yoruba. Like Yoruba, you don't know the power you have. I have been saying it. People think we believe in zoning. They said, let us devolve power to the South. There's no zoning. We don't believe in zoning. I'm going to speak on zoning because there is no election since 1999 that Hausa Fulani has not participated in. Who are you deceiving with zoning? You want to zone what? Are they doing zoning in America or are they doing zoning in UK? You want to zone what? All your public services in Hausa Fulani, they will not get salary by the time we are done with Tinkapot and Apapa Wharf. Put your stupid English Navy there. Folks, when we talk about this sport, you go and read history. We took it. During June 12, we took Apapa Wharf and Tinkapot from the Fulani. But the generation of that year, they don't want to blow it up. It was English Navy that came with submarine and their boat to kill Yoruba who took it away. We dare English to take that chances again. We would defeat you. Even before, all your businesses in Yoruba and English, all your businesses, we're going to nationalize them. We are working on giving ultimatum to Standard Chartered Bank to close shops in Lagos. You would think it's not possible. You will see. It's going to get there. We're looking at the possibility of 2021/2022 if the politics against Tinubu, they're trying to manipulate it. We would tell Standard Chartered Bank to close. If they refuse to close, we're going to go to their head office and set it on fire. It is in our land. We must treat English the way they treat us in England. They are supporting Fulani. We do not accept that. Fulani are minority. English in United Kingdom will never accept Northern Irish to be Prime Minister. They will never accept Scottish to be Prime Minister. They will never accept Welsh to be Prime Minister. Why they must support minority Fulani, they will explain it by the time we nationalize their businesses in Yoruba land. Another thing that we are going to be showing you in the Constitution is written in the Constitution. It is not something that the Young Yoruba for Freedom has made up. We only have 87 recognized Obas in Yoruba land. All of these people that you just call Obas, they are actually Bale. Because of the horrible unity system introduced by the Igbo, every one of them are just calling themselves Obas. Our House of Chiefs, which we now call House of Obas, has only 87 members who are Obas. In this book, I wrote about the same thing. You see, Federation of Oduduwa Republic, Tentative Administrative Division, 35 provinces of the Oduduwa Republic, which are going to be based on the recognized Yoruba Obas. Those on the basis of which I did it. In this book that I wrote, I put in there that there will be 4 families that will have special recognition in Yoruba land for what they have done, for their exceptional service to the greatness of Yoruba land. 4 families in the constitution of Western Nigeria. It is there. You are going to see 4 families are recognized. 4 families are recognized to be members of the House of Obas. They are not Obas. They are 4 families because of their exceptional greatness that they've brought to Yoruba land. If we go back to regional government, the 4 families will be 1, Awolowo's family, 2, Abiola's family, 3, Fela's family, 4, Tinubu's family. This will be 4 families that will be given special recognitions across Yoruba land for their exceptional contribution to the development of Yoruba land. It is in the constitution of Western Nigeria. 84 Obas were recognized as Obas. The rest are Bales. We have about, if not 10,000 Obas. This one we just say, I'm Oba of Were Street. I'm Oba of Oloshi Street. All of them are just Oba because of the unitary system. Bale, ordinary Bale, or Bale of Iberiko. Everybody just turned their own Baba, Mama Wagbada Kakri, Mama Sanru Kereki, Mama Baon Mobinik Sun Kakri. By Ile, we never walk by down to the unitary system. Igbo brought this nonsense because they don't have kingship. So only 87 Obas were constitutionally recognized to make the House of Chiefs, plus 4 exceptional people. Now this could be increased. You see, these 4 people, if you appoint a member of Awolowo's family, he will be a member of the House of Chiefs till he will die. They do it in England. House of Lord. It's hereditary. So any family that must have a member, there must be people who have done exceptional good to make Yoruba land great. And there's another thing that you will see. I reread it this morning on the contingency fund allocation. Oh God. Igbo have finished Yoruba land. It is Igbo, not actually Fulani. Fulani are running on the template of the Igbo. That's why they are scared. They don't want Tinubu to be president. We have a consolidated revenue account in Yoruba land. All the revenue collected in Yoruba land, all the taxes paid by companies, by individuals collected in Yoruba land goes to that consolidated revenue account. We are the only ones spending it. So what do you have today? They take all the money from Yoruba land, taxes, revenue, everything goes to Abuja. Igbo made it so. That's why hospitals we don't have. Affordable housing we don't have. Qualitative healthcare we don't have. Free and qualitative education we lack. Job security, none. Security of lives and property, nothing. Because the taxes that you pay goes to Abuja. Some times ago, President Trump was calling on California governor that you are owing me taxes, so you have not paid the agreed percentage of the taxes you collected in California. You have not given it to me. President Trump was on the pages of Twitter reminding the governor of California that give me my percentage. But what do we have in Nigeria? Buhari collected all the revenue from Yoruba land. That was not the case. The case was that all the money collected in Yoruba land stays in Yoruba land. We will give the central government an agreed percentage, and the only thing we are willing to give is 10%. Under the Reisman formula, it's the name of a person. Reisman was the young guy, he was a very young colonial officer who came up with the formula of sharing money before the English colonial thug left. His name is Reisman. He said that the region would take 60% of the revenue. So the remaining 40% from the revenue, 20% will go to the center, 20% will go to the regional account. That means if we make 100 naira in Yoruba region now, we are going to keep 60 naira. We will give 20 naira to the federal government. The 20 naira that is remaining will be put in a pool account owned by all the regions and will be shared equally. So Yoruba will eventually take around 70% of his own wealth back. Riceman came up with that formula. A number of people don't know his name. These are thorough research that we've done. So you see, what do we have today? Fulani, because the Igbos centralized Nigeria, brought in unity system, Hausa Fulani will take 100% of the money that is generated in Yoruba land. They will move it to Abuja and share it with Igbo, Hausa Fulani, and they will return to us 8%. That is why you are poor and miserable. Your children are running to America, running to Canada, dying in the desert, trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea to get to France, to get to Germany, to get to England, because Fulani and Igbo are enjoying your sweat. So we need guns to stop these guys. They will not stop it by talking. Awolowo started the agitation for a return to regional government. I am still doing that now. If we fail, our children will be doing the same thing. So these guys are not going to stop until we bring out chemical and biological weapons to confront them. Fulani are already talking to the Chinese to help them stockpile chemical weapons. Already English will give them chemical weapons. So the moment we are willing to share our wealth with America and just simply say to America, look, this is it. From Lagos to Ogun, to Ondo, down to Ishekiri is our waterways. We want to build Awolowo Port in Ogun. We want to build Ondo Port. We want to build another port in Ishekiri. We give the contract to America. We ask America to train our military. It's business. We ask America to come and invest in our airport. We ask America to come and invest in our beer. We stop drinking stupid Guinness Nigerian PLC that belongs to stupid English. We bring in American beer. They will support you because they are making money out of you. That is it. So, rather than allow Hausa Fulani and the Igbo with the backing of the English to continue to take 92% of our wealth and return only 8% for us, we give America 10% of this wealth and keep 90%. Then we will be able to provide free and qualitative healthcare. We will be able to provide free education. We will be able to provide job security. There will also be security of lives and property, and we'll be able to provide affordable housing. Finish. If you get all of these things, won't you like Tinubu? You will be enjoying yourself. None of us will be sitting down on our Facebook talking politics. We'll be meeting up with our friends. Hey, Omokulu Shele. You will enjoy yourself. You will go on holiday. You will be happy with your children. We will have stability in our homes. Nobody will want to travel away. You don't see your cousin, you don't see your auntie, you don't see your siblings, you don't see your parent. You are all over the world, living miserable life, speaking English everywhere, speaking French, speaking German. You hardly speak your Yoruba language because we are scattered everywhere. Look at the way our women are begging to come home from Lebanon, from Saudi Arabia, from Qatar. All of this will end. Folks, we will never get there if we do not have the support of the United States. Look at President Trump when he's campaigning. He's a very honest man, a completely decent man. The English are very cunning. They smile at you. They want to destroy you. Imagine police interviewing me. They said to me that, oh, look at this website. It is your website. I said, look, a lot of people do things for us. They come and play one of my videos and I say, look, I got you here. Here, you are saying that people should go to this website. This is your website. I said, oh, come on. People come and do things for us. And people come and do things and I speak about it. The police officer saying, I got you. That's ridiculous. And they said they are better than police in Nigeria. The police in England are not, they are shit police. That is the truth. They are far worse than the police in Nigeria. Fucking corrupt. They know the truth and they will be arresting you because of the color of your skin. They will be arresting you just because of the color of your skin. Shit people. You see what the Igbo did to you, folks. They did terrible thing. I will not. Now, let me quickly address this protest before I now go to day 2 of the Constitution of the Yoruba land. How do we go? Look, already the Yoruba World Congress, I know them because they approached me. They used my material. And I'll tell you one thing about them, which I have spoken about. Before they formed the Yoruba World Congress, they used to be disparate group of people. All of them came together. They formed Yolicom. So they approached me and said, oh, come and join Yolicom. I said, yeah, but I like to work with conservative. My mother said to me, Yoruba will destroy you if you fight for Yoruba. So I don't want to relate with everybody. I just want to work with people of like minds. Folks, if you know me, you know I'm Aries. I'm very determined and I'm very stubborn. My vice president is very stubborn too. Our director of intelligence, PC Omolubada, he can burn down the entire Nigeria with his anger. All of us have the same similar state of mind. So it's very easy for us to work together because we have the same aims and aspiration. But if we bring in Libras, there are other fine leadership of YF as well, which I've not mentioned their name. The moment we bring in Libras, they will just mess up the whole thing. But this Yolicom, they brought in everybody. I said, look, I don't want to, but I can affiliate with you. YF can affiliate with you, but we don't want to bring ourselves into your group because this different kind of human being that you've brought into this. We don't have the same ideology. So I spoke about the use of chemical and biological weapon in 2012. This same Yolicom issue a public statement saying that they don't know me. These are people I discussed with before I made that video. They said they don't know me. So Architect George Akinlas came and meet me and was apologizing behind after they have made a public shame of themselves. He was apologizing. They said, one threatening one, I didn't let you so one threatening, you then put me under the bus, right? But fortunately for me, I've been already writing, talking to the people in America, the CIA. So I could rely on those people, even though they are not black. It's the black people Yoruba that I relied on. They throw me under the bus. So I know these people. When they wanted to re-elect Professor Banji Akintoye, they called YYF. Two groups were called from abroad. Professor Banji Akintoye group in America and the Young Yoruba for Freedom in England. So we said to them, and we had meetings, we said, look, we cannot do this nonsense. You elect somebody who can win election as your leader. And Tinubu has been winning election. So it's your leader. They say, no, he doesn't give us job. All these excuses. So I sent people to go there and said to them to speak in favor of Tinubu. When we go there, they don't want us to speak. They just brought in one man. He said, oh, we are going to elect Professor Banji Akintoye. We stood up while I stood up, and then we just rubbish their process and procedures, and we said that this is not nonsense. That Professor Banji Akintoye, we trace his history with the Omobori, how they want to destroy the entire Yoruba land, that this guy is just coming from America. You're saying he's your Yoruba leader. He has not won election like Tinubu and the rest of them. So that is story. The people who created that Yoruba Congress have one thing in common: hatred for Tinubu. Now, it has been divided into two. There are four people saying that they are the founder, that they have removed Professor Banji Akintoye. This is what you get when you bring Ori Tutu, Ori Gbigbe into an association that ought to have one ideology. When you bring people of different ideology, it's going to break. That's what has happened to them. So these are the people that are calling for the protest on the 1st of October. There's a new introduction of this guy, Showore. Believe you me, if Showore is a local government chairman, he will be more corrupt than the devil. You know why? This is a man, they ask him simple question: are you Ijo or Yoruba? He said he's a Nigerian. Somebody who cannot be proud of his ethnicity. He's an Ijo guy. He's an Ijo citizen. Such a person is the most corrupt human being on planet Earth. It's like you are asking a black person in America, are you black or white? Saying, I'm American. So even in their censor, they write it, are you black American or white American? So sure, he cannot even be proud of his Ijo ethnicities, yet he said he wants to be president of Nigeria. So he has come into this calling for protest as well. He's calling for stupid revolution. The protest will be in London. The protest will be in Yoruba land. It will not happen in Igbo land. It will not happen in the Middle Belt. It will never happen anywhere else. It is only happening in Yoruba land. So what they are doing is that they want money from the Fulani and the Igbo. That is what they are doing. Yoruba World Congress. They want money from the Fulani and the Igbo to negotiate 2023. They are not going to give you any Oduduwa Republic. You don't get a new republic devoid of politics. That is the reality. So that's what they want. Their target is just actually Tinubu. So what we want to appeal to the young Yoruba who might have subscribed to their nonsense is this: don't go out on the 1st of October. If you do, I have my doubts that it is the Nigerian useless police or the Fulani military that will attack you. You will be attacked by conservative Yoruba. That is why some of you are already pleading with MC Oluomo and his group not to do anything to you. We will remind you that you came with Otoge Lagos rally last year. You know what happened to you. The stupid rally you want to do now is targeted at Tinubu, and we don't want that. Because you are not genuine. You cannot be calling for the unity of Yoruba and at the same time disparaging Tinubu. Your political party is PDP. You have the options of going from house to house, canvassing for PDP, telling people why they shouldn't vote the APC Yoruba. It's legitimate. You are soliciting for their vote. But where you want to attack the personality of a Yoruba citizen who is likely to be president of Nigeria in 2023, will disagree with that. And this is what I have come to realize. If the Libra are doing evil, we do not confront them with evil. They will prevail over us. They messed up our chances. They messed up Abiola's life. They are trying to mess up Tinubu. So if we do not confront them with fire for fire, they will succeed. So I want to appeal to the young conservative, as well as to MC Oluomo and your group in Lagos. We don't want this rally to hold in Yoruba land. So I'm openly calling that these people be attacked. Yeah, I'm a politician. I say what I believe I should say. I don't do political correctness. I said to you, I've experienced it on a personal level. Somebody making an allegation against me, I just continue to ignore it. I just continue to ignore it until this person made allegation of terrorism against me. Terrorism. So if you ignore Libra, they will undermine your greatness as Yoruba people. So the same thing we did to them during the Otoge rally. Now, this is what I'm advocating. We attack them on the 1st of October. Don't wait for the police to do the attack. We will attack them ourselves. And those who want to protest in London, well, shame on you. The English are the one responsible for your fucking problem. You are in England with all your education, washing toilets, cleaning hospitals, doing care work, working as security guard, you work in Tesco, you do all manners of horrible job. Yeah? Why? Because Fulani controls all your wealth. How? Through the support of the English. So you don't have common sense going to protest from your house. You just carry placard. You want to do a republic, and after 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, all of you go and relax in your house and be having sex with your partner. And then, or you go to a restaurant and be drinking beer, and it's gone for the day. What have you achieved? Absolutely nothing. It will be very impressive if you send a letter to Boris Johnson asking him in your letter that the Yoruba in England would like to return home. But we cannot return back to our home because of insecurity, because of lack of job security, because of lack of affordable housing. You list all of these things. You Libra, you watch my video, you read all my articles, copy. You do copy and paste a lot. You can't do your own research independently. Write to him. Tell him you want to leave his country on one condition, that Nigeria should break. And go and wait for his reply. And you said to him that they are the people holding Nigeria together, that they have no right to threaten any Yoruba citizen with deportation. So all of you Yoruba that are applying for asylum in England, doing this and that, you have legitimate right to stay in this country because it is English that have made your life miserable. That is why you are in their country. So write to Boris Johnson and speak about it when you go and drop your letter. But you are not real. Your target is Tinubu. You are just using the gimmick of Oduduwa Republic agitation. That's what you are doing to distract responsible, decent Yoruba youths and others. We know you. You are horrible. So guys, let us leave them for the time being. Now let us look at chapter 2 of the Constitution of Western Nigeria. The title of that, you have a copy, is on page 163. If you have the copy, Constitution of Western Nigeria, page 163, under legislature. There are 3 parts. We're going to take part 1 today. It says composition of legislature. And I'll read it. Number 4, it said, there shall be a legislature for the region, which shall consist of the governor, a house of chief, and a house of assembly, and we shall have power to make laws for the peace, order, and good government of the region. So we will have a legislature where they make law. The legislature shall comprise of 3 groups of people. 1, the governor, which is headed by the Oni of Ife. And we have said that the governor will be styled as the head of state of Yoruba land. The second group is the House of Chiefs, which is headed by Alafin, is the president of House of Chief. So we are not going to call it House of Chief, like I told you, it will be House of Oba. It's an insult to call our Obas chief. And the third group is the House of Assembly. We are not going to call it House of Assembly. It will now be addressed as the Yoruba Parliament, because Parliament comprises the members of the parties that the community has elected to represent them. So the member of this parliament, if you say assembly, yes, it's like you just appoint a group of idiots somewhere and you put them in a house and say they should be ruling over a group of people. No, it is Yoruba parliament because it comprises of members that has been elected by the community to represent them. If you look at the 5 and 10 region that we proposed to President Tinubu when he gets to power, we said there will be Yoruba parliament, Hausa parliament, and Igbo parliament. The others will be assemblies. This is very, very important. These are parliament because they are majority. They are like nations. Any of this parliament can then move a motion to secede from Nigeria. It will be tough for assembly to move a motion. So Kanuri will have assembly. Edo Urobo region will have assembly. Ijo region will have assembly. Efikibibi will have assembly. Western Middle Belt will have assembly. Central Middle Belt will have assembly. And Eastern Middle Belt will have assembly because they are minority. The combination of Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa is more than 75% of the total population of Nigeria. But in this case, it is important for you to know that our legislature under regional government comprises of 3 groups of people. And these are the hierarchy, the political hierarchy in Yoruba land. The governor, the president, and the prime minister. So that is what you call the governor, the House of Obas, don't call it House of Chiefs, and the Yoruba parliament. The House of Chief now, we've moved away from the God. This is written from the Constitution. If you have a copy, page 163 of the Constitution of Western Nigeria. Now, the Constitution is now explaining the House of Chief. But please call it the House of Oba, for God's sake. For God and country. It's an insult. The House of Chiefs shall consist of the person for the time being holding such chieftaincy as may be prescribed by the governor, who shall be an ex officio member of the house. It is the governor who will appoint member into the house of Obas. The governor is Oni of Ife. Don't make mistake about that. 87 chiefs, that's how it is written here, but it's Oba. 87, I will use Oba, please. 87 Obas having such qualification and selected in such manner as may be prescribed by the legislature of the region. These 87 Obas have been appointed based on certain prerequisites that must be met before you can get into the house of Obas. So all of these 10,000 Oba that we have across Yoruba land, they are Baale. They are what? Baale. Only 87 Obas were recognized. When I wrote this book, 2017, I recognized only 35 Obas in Yoruba land. 35. Because these are the real Yoruba Obas. You can get a copy of the book if you want to know these 35 Oba. But the constitution of, this is just my opinion in writing this and my ideas I put in it. It's not that I wasn't aware of these 87 Obas already in the constitution of Nigeria. I just felt that we have too many Obas. It's ridiculous. So we wanted to streamline them into normal numbers. But you look, we have to agree with this, our grandparent, for what they've done. 87 Obas who will be selected by the legislature. And he goes on, he says, such members being, they wrote here chiefs, but I will be changing it to Obas. Being Obas, not exceeding 4, as may be selected by the governor, acting in accordance with the advice of the premier. That's another section of the constitution that says that there will be special members. I'm reading from page 163. Special member, not more than 4, that will be selected by the governor. Who is the governor? Oni of Ife. So Oni of Ife will select 4 additional people to be members of the House of Obas. It used to be House of Chief. We are changing it. We can't be following the ridiculous dictate of the English colonial talks, calling our Obas chief. Stupid of them. So it's House of Oba. You understand? So there will be 4 special people. This will, I call them the people who have made exceptional contribution to the greatness of Yoruba. This will come from Awolowo family, Abiola's family, Fela's family, and Tinubu's family. Libra, you don't like Tinubu, it's going to be because he's made an exceptional contribution to the development of Yoruba land. Obasanjo took, before that, he was running around the entire America, even in England, sourcing for fund for Nadeco when Abacha was killing every Yoruba citizen. Right? He came back, he was gifted the slot for the Lagos governor. He was the only one that was not rigged out by Obasanjo because he stood his time with the help of people like MC Oluomo. After that, Obasanjo rigged all other elections in Yoruba land. Tinubu from 2007 started winning back all the posts, all the elective posts that Obasanjo rigged out from the conservative. And he won them over by 2011 and he's still winning. He has made exceptional contribution to the Yoruba nation. His great-great-great-grandmother, Madam Tinubu, used her wealth. She was selling salt. Salt. It's like somebody selling gold today. She used the proceeds of her business to fund the war of 1851 and 1855 against the English. So this is a special family. They will be the special member. These are 4. Now, when we go back to regional government, you will expect things to change. It could be increased from 4 to 10 special family who have made exceptional contribution to the Yoruba nation. But I'm reading to you how this thing was in our home constitution. You will respect the brain of our grandparents. And everything was destroyed by Igbo with gun. This beautiful constitution. So, if you had the 4 special members to the Obas, that would be 91 members of the House of Obas. 91 members. I will not be reading all of this thing one by one for you, but there's some areas that I've selected that are so special. Yeah. The seats in the House of Obas of a member other than ex-officio member or a special member shall become vacant in such circumstances as may be prescribed by the legislature of the House. You don't really need that to explain that. In this section, chiefs mean, they define chiefs in the Constitution, means any person who is for the time being recognized as a chief under any law in force in the region. So the 87 others that were selected have been selected by the leaders of the Yoruba nation to be the real others, not the Baales that we have everywhere today. Section 6 of this says, without prejudices to the provision of section 5 of the section 10 and subsection 13. Guys, you don't need all of this section. Of section 33 of this constitution. Guys, you don't need this. But what is important is this. The House of Assembly shall consist of 94 members. Now, we have moved away from the House of Obas. You know, this constitution says that there shall be 3 legislatures. 1, office of the head of state. You agree with me? Head of state was called governor. And who occupies that position? Oni of Ife. 2, the House of Oba. You know, it was called House of Chief. House of Oba. Who is the head of the House of Oba? Alafin he was called president. President of the House of Obas. 3rd, the House of Assembly, which we will now call the Yoruba Parliament. The head of that is the premier. Now we're moving on. Now we've moved away from the House of Obas. We're now moving to the House of Assembly, which we call the Yoruba Parliament. The House of Assembly shall consist of 94 members. Subject to the provision of Section 8 of this Constitution, a person shall be qualified. This is what, Igbo, you need to listen to this part. You see, people who can be elected into the House of Assembly. 1, no Igbo, Fulani, or immigrant, none of them can ever be governor. The governor must be Oni of Ife. The governor now is called head of state. No Igbo, no Fulani, no foreigner can be a member of the House of Obas. All of them must be Yoruba citizens. The House of Oba must be headed by its president, who is Alafin. Now, we're going to the House of Assembly. Now you will think that, okay, can Igbo be voted for? Look at what the Constitution says. I'm reading from page 163. It says, subject to the provision of Section 8 of this Constitution, a person shall be qualified to be a member of the House of Assembly, which we call Yoruba Parliament, if he is a citizen of Nigeria who has attained the age of 21 years and there is other provision. 1, you have to be a citizen of Nigeria and who was born in the region. That's number 1. So stupid, criminally minded Igbo, born in their shit places, they come into Yoruba land and say they want to contest for election. Because what? Igbo destroy regional government. Anybody that must be a member of our parliament in Yoruba land must be born in Yoruba land. So, to those of you Yoruba, you go abroad and have your baby there. I want to have my baby in America. Your children shall not be qualified to contest for that election. So you don't have my children in London. So they are completely disqualified. But that is one of the options. But there will always be professor for that. So don't be scared that because you have had your child in America or because you had your child in England that they are automatically disqualified. But law is law. If you must be a member, you must be born in Yoruba. I know a lot of you who live in America. I'm glad you are always running to America with your heavy pregnancy. Yeah, we better get green card. We better get reach this one too. You see, your kids are really disqualified. Yeah. Igbo destroy our nation. Trust me, folks. Igbo destroy our nation. So, if you must be elected into the House, you must at least be 21 years old. So this brings to fruition the argument around not too young to rule. It's because Yoruba don't have access to this kind of constitution. That's why they are protesting on the street that we want young people. Young people have always been given that right from day one to lead our nation. You must be 21 years old. And who was born in the region? If you are not born in our region, you cannot be a member. Or whose father? So, you see, hold your peace, those of you who have your children abroad, including me. so hold your peace. He said, you must be 21, and who was born in the region? If you are not born in the region, or whose father was born in the region. So my children will qualify to go into the Yoruba parliament. So you hold your peace because I was born in Yoruba land. And again he says, or who has resided in the region for a continuous period of at least 1 year immediately before the relevant dates. In subsection 1 of this section, the relevant date means in relation to an elected member, the date of his nomination for election as a member, and in relation to a person nominated for election as a speaker from outside the house, the date of his nomination. What this connotes, all this condition, is that nobody will just come from Igbo land and say, I want to participate in election. They have to fulfill all righteousness. And in supplementary of this constitution, you cannot contest election if you have not paid 12 years tax clearance certificate. But in case of somebody who is 21 years old, perhaps he started working at the age of 18, he will be qualified if he started paying his tax clearance at the age of 18. These measures were put in place to make sure that those who contest and vote in an election in our space are Yoruba people. And if you look at the new constitution that has been done before Obasanjo and Atiku assassinated Bola Ige, I wrote it here. Page 40 of the book, The Yoruba Person, Appendix 9. This was part of the constitution, new constitution that has been written by the Yoruba Academy led by Bola Ige. This is what Bola Ige was trying to do when he was going to the war court. Bola Ige discussed with Obasanjo that, look, when he gets to the war court, he's going to push for the dissolution of Nigeria because Nigeria was meant to last for 100 years. That the moment he gets to the war court, this is his plan. Based on that, Obasanjo and Atiku assassinated him. But Bola Ige has written a constitution. If you look at the constitution, which I produced some of it here in my book, I call it Draft of the Yoruba Constitution for the general welfare, security, and prosperity of our people. Article 1, Article 2, the government, the kind of government we're going to have. Article 3, the central government. Article 4, executive of the central government. Article 5, the judiciary. Article 6, land and mineral resources. Article 7, the provincial government. Article 8, local government. Article 9, the Yoruba person. Now let me read to you. That is the constitution. It's not this constitution that I'm reading. This was constitution that was first enacted into law in 1952. It was amended in 1963. But because of the killing subjugation and suppression of the Yoruba people by the Igbo and Hausa Fulani, Bola Ige is a conservative, and other Yoruba wrote a constitution preparatory to the declaration of Oduduwa Republic. They wrote this constitution called the Yoruba Constitution. I have the draft copy. He says these are some of the things the liberals don't have. They've never read any of this before, but they sit in front of video. We want to do it, but they have no clue about anything. You see, this is something I've learned from the English and the Caucasian. You put your best mind forward on anything. Brain is an extremely powerful machine. It is the greatest invention of God Almighty. You don't kill people with brain power. All these Yoruba liberals shouting Oduduwa Republic, they've never read the constitution written by Bola Ige. They've never read the constitution of Yoruba land that was enacted into law in 1952. They just talk shit. So this is who Yoruba person is. Section 1 says, all person whose parent or grandparent belong or belonged to a community indigenous to Yoruba land. All person, either of whose parent or grandparent belong to a community indigenous to Yoruba land. All person in the diaspora of African descent who claims Yoruba ancestry, either through cultural affiliation or genealogical connection. These are who we call Yoruba people. And these are the people that will have the right to be elected into the Yoruba parliament. Igbo have no say at all. But through the unitary system, they are everywhere in Yoruba land. They are using intermarriages to control our politics. They deliberately get married to our women. And we've said to Yoruba women, you marry Igbo men, it is at your own risk, because your children are going to be discriminated against because the Igbo people hate Yoruba nation. So you cannot just come into Yoruba land and start contesting for election. You have to be born in Yoruba land for a start. You have to meet certain other requirements. If we go back to regional government now from 2023, when we have Tinubu as president, we go back to regional government, Tinubu devolve power, there will be a fresh Yoruba constitution that will be written. It will be very clear who can participate in election in Yoruba land. We did not colonize the Igbo. They have no right. They have no right whatsoever to say they want to participate in election in Yoruba land. It is the English who colonized them. They can go to England and be contesting for election. Have you ever seen Yoruba going to Bulgaria saying they want to vote and be voted for? Do we go to Latvia? Do we go to Russia? Do we go to Japan? Do we go to China? Say we want to vote and be voted for? But we are in England saying we want to vote and be voted for because some times ago, the irresponsible English colonial thugs came into our country, killed our people, stole our wealth. It is because of slavery and colonialism. That's why we have right to vote and be voted for in England. Not because the English like us. Igbo people have no right whatsoever. And you shall not vote in election in Yoruba. So you can see that. You know, the liberal will say Tinubu is not from Lagos. He cannot contest for election. But their party, the PDP, always giving ticket to Igbo. How many of the Igbo who have won election in Yoruba land are born in Yoruba land? How many? Beautiful things that the power of the Constitution can do. That was what, when Bola Ige wrote this Constitution, look at the introductory part. And you look at the introductory part of that. The Constitution written by Bola Ige says, to secure the dual end of good governance, as well as a peaceable living among ourselves and between us and our neighbors, we the Yoruba people do commission and give consent to the following as the Commonwealth of the Yoruba Kingdom, Oduduwa Republic's Constitution. Now, look at how the Constitution of Western Region was introduced. It said, there shall be a legislature for the region, which shall consist of the governor, a house of chiefs, and a house of assembly, and we shall have power to make laws for the peace, order, and good government of the region. That is the essence of constitution. That is the essence of constitution. Any region, any people, group of people that has a constitution means that they have an independent nation. Yoruba land was an independent nation until Igbo used guns to kill our leaders. Because of the beauty of constitution, that was the reason why the good people of Ghana came out with a law that says a person who is not a citizen of Ghana cannot invest or participate in the following business. Law governs peace in any nation. So this is what it said. If you are not Ghanaians, if you are not a citizen of Ghana, you cannot participate in petty trading. You cannot hawk goods and services. You cannot be involved in selling of goods in a store. You cannot do taxi or car hire services. You cannot operate beauty salon or barber shop. You cannot be printing. You cannot operate printing of recharge card. You cannot produce basic stationaries. You cannot get involved in such a business. You cannot involve in retail of pharmaceutical products. You cannot be involved in production, shipping, and retail of water or gambling business. Law. The Igbo destroy our law. The people of Ghana, fed up with the Igbo criminality, came up with a law to chase out Igbo from their space. If we go back to regional government, we are going to be able to make law in our parliament that will address the influx of Igbo into our land, that will address the Igbo criminality in our land. Any region in Nigeria with a constitution is an independent nation. This constitution of Western Nigeria is the reason why Yoruba nation was once a great place to live, work, and get an education. Igbo destroyed everything with the gun. Without organized violence, we cannot get back our freedom. Without organized violence. Because the Igbo people cannot live in an atmosphere of rules and regulation. That is the reason why they are shouting and crying, because the people of Ghana came up with a law. The law these people came up with says a person who is not a citizen of Ghana may participate in other enterprises. The first section of the law says if you are not a citizen of Ghana, you cannot get involved in petty trading, in hawking, selling of goods in store, and other things. If we have regional government, we will put the same law in place. If you are not Yoruba, you can't sell all of these things. You can't have barbing salon. You can't have beauty salon. You can't be selling spare parts. You can't be selling waters. You can't be doing gambling business. We will reserve this enterprise for our home people. Igbo should go and do the same thing in their space. But to destroy us, Igbo first suspended our constitution. The beauty of it, guys, is that this constitution was suspended. You need a Tinubu, a Fashola, an Oshibajo, an Aregbesola to revive back your constitution. Another thing the good people of Ghana did when they've had enough of the irresponsible action of the Igbo who are constituting nuisance into their space because of their crime. Another thing they did was to say that this section you cannot participate in this business, and this section you can. These are the businesses they said they can. A person who is not a citizen of Ghana may participate in other enterprise if it's a conditional clause. If in a joint venture with a citizen of Ghana with $200,000 investment, $200,000 investment. So the Ghanaian people are saying, Igbo, if you want to participate in an enterprise in Ghana, a Ghanaian citizen must be managing director of your business, and you must put down at least $200,000. That's one condition. Number two, without a joint venture, if you don't have a Ghanaian citizen as your managing director, you must invest $1 million. Your investment must be worth $1 million. This is law. You have to respect the law. I came to England because of the health of my son. They said to us that you have to wait until your child is 7 years because he's receiving treatment. They won't give me my paper. For 7 years, I have no right to work. 7 years with a sick son. I'm a loving father. The money for my PhD, I spend it on my son. That's their law. We are going to bring back the constitution of Western Nigeria. It will be constitution of Yoruba. You can't do this now because Fulani are in power. They don't want regional government. Until you put a Yoruba citizen, a full-blooded Yoruba citizen as the president of Nigeria, that is when you can bring back this constitution. The people of Ghana says, if you Igbo must participate in our enterprise, you must have a joint venture with a Ghanaian citizen who is going to be the managing director of the business, but you Igbo, you must put $200,000 down. If you don't want a joint venture with a Ghanaian citizen, you must put $1 million down. It is their law because it is their space. It is their homeland. And they put another law that you must employ at least 20 Ghanaians because they know the Igbo, they come to Ghana. That's how they do in Yoruba land. They come to Ghana with bedroom slippers, go and rob their banks, use the proceeds of the money stolen from their banks and other businesses to set up their shops. When they set up their shop, they go back to their homeland and bring in their brothers. So Ghanaians have seen through that and say, no way. You must employ 20 Ghanaians. This is self-preservation of the highest order. And because they have seen how Igbo abuses women everywhere they go, they've slept with a lot of Yoruba women, stupid women Yoruba for that matter. Because they're doing crime and women love money. The moment you give them money, they open their legs. They don't care even if you are a dog. They don't care. Because of the unity system, our women are so poor, so wretched, so miserable. Ordinary 1,000, you can sleep with them. 1,000 naira. That's what the Igbo are doing to Yoruba women. But because of unity system, we can't do anything to stop them. We know this. But in Ghana, the Igbo are doing the same thing to their women. So the Ghanaian authority came up with a policy. If the foreigner is married to a Ghanaian citizen, the minimum foreign capital of 1 million will be waived and minimum of 5 years marriage. So if you are Igbo, you want to trade in Ghana, and you don't have the $1 million they are requesting for, and you don't want anybody, a Ghanaian citizen, to be part of your joint venture, you must marry their women. If you do, they are not going to waive that money until you have spent 5 years in that marriage to be sure that that marriage is not a sham marriage. In 5 years, if you don't have children, then they will be thinking that is a sham marriage. But imagine what the Ghanaian women will do to you, Igbo. You marry them under this law, They fuck your life up if you dare to cheat on them. If you dare to maltreat them, they fuck your life up. The moment they serve you with a divorce notice, you lose everything. So in order for the people of Ghana to protect their women who are being abused by Igbo men who are involved in crime, using this proceeds of crime to spend on those women and make them miserable, abuse them sexually, the Ghanaian people stood up to stop it through a simple policy. But we can't do much as Yoruba people. Our women are being raped by Igbo, both married and unmarried women. Their life is miserable. We can't do anything because we run unitary system. They know Igbo, if Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, we will stop all of their nonsense in Yoruba land. We will do far more than what the people of Ghana have done to the Igbo. You remember last year when the xenophobic attack on the Igbo happened in South Africa? Buhari met with the president of South Africa, and the president of South Africa was very clear. Said they don't want Igbo to come and do small business in their space. That these are businesses that their home people should be doing. That if Igbo cannot participate in big corporation businesses, they don't want them in South Africa. And everybody is waking up to the criminality of the Igbo across the world. They suspended our constitution, so we will never be able to control their excesses in our space. That is why they are always funding PDP Liberal Party in Yoruba land, so that they can use that to conquer us. They want to get into our politics, to destroy us. The constitution of Western Nigeria is coming back. It will come back either through Tinubu presidency or via organized violence. Let us look at the qualification for membership of the House of Assembly, which is Yoruba Parliament. Guys, you need to know. It says, no person shall be qualified for election to the House of Assembly if he has voluntarily acquired citizenship of a country other than Nigeria, or as except in such cases as may be prescribed by the legislature of the region, made a declaration of allegiance to such a country. It's everywhere. This is the standard. That was why they were saying that this guy, Saraki, shouldn't have even been elected into the Senate in the first place, because he was having British passport. If you hold British passport as a Yoruba without renouncing your nationality of Britain, you will not participate in our election. And it is legitimate, because we cannot put foreigners in our parliament. There are other reasons why you cannot participate. Anybody that has been adjudged to be a lunatic, you cannot. I won't read all of the other conditions to you. But there's another one that is very important. Save otherwise provided by the legislature of the region, if he is a member of the public service of the region, the public service of the federation, or the public service of another region, a member of the armed forces of the federation, or the holder of any other office of a monument under the state. So if you are a public servant, you cannot be a member of our House of Parliament. That is, if you are a civil servant, you work for government, you have to resign. If you are from another region, you cannot be a member of the House of Assembly. That is what this legislation is saying. If you are in the armed forces or police, you cannot be a member of the House of Assembly, which we call the Yoruba Parliament. There are others which you can all read up by yourself. There are others. So this is just say the condition under which you can participate in election into our parliament. There's another thing that I marked here that is very important. provided that it does not include any body corporate established by or under the Western Region Local Government Law of 1952 or the Local Government Law of the region as amended, or any law replacing either of those laws. Even if you work in local government, you cannot participate in election until you have resigned. Now let's quickly go to what you have seen is that about the House of Assembly. Let's quickly go to the President of the House of Chief, because people keep complaining, Oni of Ife and Alaafin, you don't know which one is senior. They are fighting over seniority. Our grandparents have resolved this. There's never been any justification for dispute between these two people. No justification for it at all. I like a lot of people on YouTube always make comment, guys. I read some of your comment if I can read. Somebody said, God bless Ghana for screening the children of hate, evil. So there's another guy who is making comments saying that I'm focusing on the evil. He's an evil guy. Well, I don't have to hide my feelings. You are the number one enemy of the Yoruba nation. If we do not deal with you precisely, we can't deal with Fulani legitimately. Let us go to the President of the House of Chiefs. Folks, please forgive me. I'm reading from the Constitution of Western Nigeria, but do not forget, we are bringing a new concept. We cannot call our Oba chief. It is derogatory. It is insulting. When the royal family in England, when they do weddings, birthday, we all celebrate because the English celebrated their own thing. So we must celebrate and respect our own Obas too. That's when people will celebrate with us. Yeah. There shall be a president of the House of Chiefs, which is House of Obas, who shall be elected by the member of that house. Election is just formality. That position is reserved only for the Alaafin of Oyo. Guys, you know this guy is always lying. Sometimes because he drinks and smokes and snuff cocaine and every other thing. Femi Badikayode, he talks shit most of the time. He said his father was the deputy premier. This is the Constitution of Western Nigeria we are reading. There is no such position as the deputy premier. You're going to see it today. So the House of Oba shall have a president. That's what it says. The president. That office, that position is reserved for only one man. Alaafin of Oyo. And another provision said, no person shall be elected as president of the House of Obas. It's written here, House of Chief. I'm reading from page 166 of the Constitution. Unless he is a member of the House or a chief qualified by selection as a member of the House. He went on to say, the president of the House of Chief shall vacate his office if he ceases to be a member of the House, otherwise than by reason of a dissolution of the legislative houses of the region. When the House first sits after any dissolution. Now, these are not very important for me to be cladding your audio just to talk about. Any one of them, or if you can read this all about, but I'm picking out certain things that are very important. There's a section number 4 that says, no business, this is very important, no business shall be transacted in the House of Chiefs other than an election to the office of President of the House at any time when that office vacates. No business shall be transacted in the House of Chiefs at any time when that office vacates. Nothing can be done in the House of Chiefs without the President. That's what this section is saying. Without first electing the president of the House of Chiefs, nothing can be done. So without Alaafin of Oyo, nothing can be done in the Yoruba House of Obas. Well, there's one major role of this house. They must approve the Constitution. So if the House of Assembly, which we call the Yoruba Parliament, if they make any amendment, they must pass that amendment to the House of Obas. Then the House of Obas can reject it or approve it. If they approve it, they must send it to the superior, the Oni of Ife, the governor, to assent his signature. These are all here. So nothing can be done in the House of Obas without the president, who is Alafin. Now let's move down to the Speaker of the House of Assembly, which we call the Yoruba Parliament. There shall be a Speaker of the House of Assembly, which is Yoruba Parliament, who shall be elected by the members of that house. These are all formality. And again, it says here, no business shall be transacted in the House of Assembly, which is Yoruba Parliament. We've changed it from House of Assembly to Yoruba Parliament, other than an election to the office of Speaker at any time when that office is vacant. So without a Speaker, nothing can be done in the House of Yoruba Parliament. Right of attendance of minister, tenure of seat of members. Look, folks, I can't be reading all of these things to you. It's the Constitution. It's not voluminous. You can pick it and finish reading it a day. It's not something that you have to read like if you are reading one huge book, but very interesting, written in simple, plain English for anybody's understanding. Now, for instance, if a member of the House of Assembly is absent from proceeding twice, he will lose his seat. If he doesn't inform the Speaker, it's gone. Let us quickly move away from there. The reason why we're saying this is we have a constitution. The constitution simply means that Yoruba was a nation of its own, independent of Nigeria. Igbo came with guns, suspended this beautiful constitution. Today, young Yoruba will abuse Oni of Ife. They will abuse all the Yoruba Obas, saying that they are not doing anything with all of this problem facing the Yoruba nation. But these guys used to be the players. These guys used to be the deciders of our fates. But Igbo came, used gun, and destroyed the system. Today, a local government chairman is more powerful than Oni of Ife, yet Oni of Ife used to be the head of state. Nothing happens in Yoruba land without the assent of Oni of Ife. You cannot make appointment of ministers in Yoruba land without Oni of Ife. You cannot pass any law, any bills rather, into law without Oni of Ife signing it. You cannot make appointment without Oni of Ife signing it. You cannot appropriate any fund without Oni of Ife involved in it. Is Oni of Ife involved in anything in Yoruba land now? No. Is Alaafin of Oyo involved in anything in Yoruba land? No. These Obas are ordinary because the Igbo do not have monarchical system. They destroy everything. Everybody, the English, they are still holding with pride their royal family. We were doing the same thing before the English came with gun, before the Igbo came with gun. With all due respect to the English, with the way and manner they colonized Yoruba land, they always respected our Obas because it is also their own tradition in their country. That's why they respect the Queen. Igbo, they don't have kingship. That's why they destroy this system. Imagine if Oni is still having a say in Yoruba land. You think Yoruba women will be doing prostitution? That Oni of Ife will just be folding his hand? You think our children will be involved in fraud? That our political leaders will not speak up? The English, in spite of this enslavement of the Yoruba nation, they never destroy our monarchical system of government. They retain it when they left. It was Igbo who destroyed everything. You will see a lot. I can't begin to read word for word. It's something I've read. Before the president can be appointed, the president of House of Obas, it must be approved by the Oni. You know, before Oni can be appointed as the governor, which is head of state, it must be the president, which is Alaafin, who must make the recommendation to the prime minister. Then the prime minister will then appoint Oni. as our head of state. These are just formality. It is given every subsequent new election, our head of state remains one person. It does not change on your FIFA. Our president remains one person. It will never change. Alaafin for you. It is only the prime minister that will be changing. It's the same system in England. The Queen is their head of states. Their House of Lords, they are permanent there. The people elected into their, appointed into the House of Lords, they are there until their death. It's the same thing in our House of Chiefs, which we call House of Oba. We had the same system. Igbo had no kinship. They came with gun and killed our leaders and destroyed our constitution, and our generation continue to abide by unitary system. That's why we must harm ourselves with chemical and biological weapons, because these guys, they don't want to let go. That is about the leadership of our legislature. We used to have our own electoral system. It's written in our constitution, establishment of electoral commission. If you must work in the electoral commission, you must be appointed by the Oni of Ife. That is what the constitution says. Please have a listen. There shall be an electoral commission for the region. The member of the electoral commission of the region shall be the chairman of the electoral commission of the federation, who shall be chairman. Member of the electoral commission of the federation representing the regions, and 2 other members, or such greater number of members as may be appointed by the governor, acting in accordance with the advice of the premier. It is Oni of Ife who must put people that will conduct election in Yoruba land. Imagine Oni of Ife puts somebody to conduct election and that person is rigging. You will go to Oni of Ife palace and protest there and you'll be asking for his removal. Do you think Oni of Ife will ever do that? But who conduct election in Yoruba land now? From Abuja. That's why our politicians run to Abuja. You put Buhari there as the president of Nigeria. It doesn't care about you, Yoruba. So politicians will go there. Buhari will just fix the INEC officials who will conduct the election. They rig the election and put a shit human being there as your leader, as your governor, as your senators. Under regional government, it's Oni of Ife who must put people in INEC. If Oni of Ife puts somebody in INEC, he will be neutral. So you have a legitimate election. Obasanjo as the president, he just rigged all the election because Igbo suspended regional government. That is the nonsense we are living with. It is so beautiful reading this constitution. That's why I said, if you read too much, believe you me, you will be willing to kill. Because you can see very clearly the suppression and subjugation of your people. As a human being, you must protect your descendant, who are your children. Yoruba people just think that you just come to this life ordinarily to eat, have sex, sleep, and die, without protecting the future of the child that you brought forth to the world. If the Caucasian people are doing like that, or African America will have taken over America from them. If the English were doing like that, the Germans will have taken over England from them. It is because we have some irresponsible generation. That is why Igbo and Fulani have appropriated all our wealth in Yoruba land. They are not as brilliant as us. They are not as exposed as us. They are not as industrious as us. They have never fought any war as us. We Yoruba, we've been fighting several wars. We fought English 4 times and they did not defeat us once. Igbo only fought 1 war, Biafra. And because of economic blockade, food, they lost the war. And these are people who have appropriated all our market, committing crime, raping our women, destroying our society. Fulani with no shred of civilization, but with the backing of the English, they just come, take over our police, take over our military, control our waterways, control our land borders, control our airport, control our seaport, control the tax revenue collected in Yoruba land, dictated our life to us. If we do anything, they kill our leaders. If we say anything, they kill our people. People with no civilization as the Yoruba people. How could you have a beautiful constitution and you allow Igbo to destroy it? And everybody is just running away. Is that how the English are running away from England to go and work abroad? Is that how the Caucasians are living in America? Look at the appointment into the INEC. It says section 3 of that particular paragraph. Say, a person shall not be qualified for appointment as a member of the Electoral Commission of the region if he is a member of either legislative house of the region, a member of either house of parliament, or a member of the legislative house of another region, a minister of the government of the region, a minister of the government of the federation, a minister of the government of another region, or a member of the public service of the region, the public service of the federation, or the public service of another region. So anybody that is compromised will never be appointed into the Electoral Commission of the Yoruba region. It must be somebody that is not involved in government, a neutral person completely. And this person must be appointed by the Oni of Ife, who doubles as the governor, which will now address as the head of state. Just think for a moment. Look at the election that will happen in Ondo State. Imagine Oni of Ife be the one that will appoint the high neck that will conduct that election. Oni of Ife will be neutral completely. He will appoint neutral people. This election is going to be conducted by HINEC, led by Buhari of APC. So what do you expect? When Obasanjo was there, he rigged the entire election in Yoruba land for his party. Oni of Ife is expected to be neutral because he's the head of state of Yoruba land. He's neutral. He cannot be APC, he can't be PDP. Alaafin of Oyo cannot be APC, he cannot be PDP. But because the Igbo destroyed our constitution, our Obas have lost sense of purpose. Just think for a moment. That election will not be compromised if Oni of Ife is the one to appoint the electoral official that will conduct the Ondo state election. Igbo destroyed Nigeria. They turned Nigeria into a unitary state, a country of multicultural nations, a country of multi-ethnic nations. You are running it like a unitary, like a military cantonment. Our generation is here to, we are here to stop this nonsense from the Igbo. And we will. We will. There's another thing that says in the appointment of this electoral, subject to the provision. By the time we go to the electoral dispute, you will see the beauty of this constitution, folks. Igbo are animals. If you conduct election in Yoruba land, you will go to Yoruba courts. You will never go outside Yoruba court. Today, they will go to Abuja tribunal when there is a dispute in election. You are going to lose. They take it out of your own region. Igbo are horrible. They are criminally minded people. I can read some of the statement of the Igbo saying, I don't like you. I don't have to pretend. I'm conservative. There's so many conservatives who will vote for us because we speak nothing but the truth. You destroy Nigeria. You are hated everywhere in the world. And I'm glad the people are giving it back to you. In Nigeria, you are messing up our homeland. You say we are one Nigeria, horrible. You go to Ghana, you are stealing, committing crimes. You say ECOWAS protocol. You are in South Africa, they are killing you. They are asking you to leave. You say you are Pan-Africa. Horrible people. You call yourself industrious people. You cannot grow the economy of your own space. In continuation of the appointment of the Electoral Commission, says subject to the provision of this section, a member of the Electoral Commission of the region appointed by the governor shall vacate his office. Appointed by the governor is Oni of Ife that was appointed. At the expiration of 5 years from the date of his appointment, or if any circumstances arise that if he were not a member of the commission will cause him to be disqualified for appointment of such. Don't want me to bother you with much. Just think for a moment that Oni of Ife appoints the electoral officers to conduct election in Ondo State. Just think. You think there will be rigging? You think Oni will compromise? He will put up the best of Yoruba there into that commission. And the section 3 of our constitution says, a person shall not be qualified for appointment as a member of the Electoral Commission of the region if he is either a member of the legislative house of the region, a member of the house. If he has a political party, he cannot be appointed into electoral commission. That is what this section is saying. If he's a civil servant, he cannot be appointed as a member of the electoral commission. It must be somebody completely neutral, somebody in private who does not belong to any political party. You are asking Buhari to come and conduct election. You think he's going to put PDP there? No, he will put his own APC people there. It's rubbish. You know the position of Oni of Ife, Arole Odua. What are we talking about? Look at how beautiful our constitution is. Somebody just came with gun, killed our leaders, and said, the constitution of Nigeria suspended. The constitution of the region, Western region suspended. Igbo. Ayima Bajeshani. I'm just going to skip some of these things, but I have marked out some of the interesting part. In section 7 of the Electoral Commission, in the exercise of its function under this constitution, the Electoral Commission of the region shall not be subject to the direction or control of any person or authority. Beautiful. So the moment they are appointed by the governor, they are on their own. They must serve the people. Buhari brought his nephew as INEC chairman. Every election in Nigeria must be conducted by federal government. What kind of system are you running? That is what the Igbo brought upon us. That is what they brought upon us. Igbo destroy Nigeria, folks. That's just the fact. They are evil-minded. There is one thing. They thought that they lack waterways and crude oil. But there's one thing they lack. Human capital. Brain. In Nnamdi Kanu, their leader, a first-class propagandist, everything we speak about, he copied. He was condemning everybody, saying that the entire world gang up against them during Biafra. Today we said to the Yoruba nation, if you don't have the support of the United States of America, forget ruling Nigeria, forget regional government, forget the Oduduwa Republic. You will be miserable for the rest of your life. You need allies. Nnamdi Kanu is saying that they want America to come to the aid. The federal government of Nigeria listens to me. Federal government of Nigeria takes policy idea from YYF. The government in Yoruba land takes policy ideas from us. They know that I'm honest. When the police interviewed me for 9 hours, my lawyer said to me, I have never sitting in a political campaign in my entire life. You are good. I am good because a generation must come to salvage the destruction of his people. And it is that generation that we happen to be. Unfortunately, it is our generation that will go to war. And we will fight to protect our children and the descendant yet unborn. We don't want this unitary system. I cannot live my life in England, a place that is not my country, to face discrimination. I can't work the best job with my human capital. I can't live in the best environment. I can't raise my children to the best of my ability. I can't do anything because of the color of my skin. I don't blame them. It is their country. They must give priority to their own citizens. We want to take back Yoruba land. The Igbo destroy Nigeria. No born has except the Igbo. How can you destroy this beautiful constitution? And you give us a junk, useless constitution? Many of you don't know that it was Obasanjo who wrote the constitution of 1978-79 that turned Nigeria into a presidential system of government. The hopeless human being that will be divided into 4 places after his death is still speaking shit about restructuring now. They destroy our life. They destroy our civilization with gun, without chemical and biological weapon. Without the support of the United States, forget it. Our generation will be miserable if we do not fight. We will be miserable. Say to Hausa Fulani, let us decentralize INEC. Yoruba, you control your own INEC. You conduct your own election. We don't have to have election at the same time, except federal election. Tell Hausa Fulani like that, they will say no, because they use INEC, centralized INEC to dictate to your life. They say Nigeria is not negotiable. Everything in Nigeria is centralized. That's why I keep saying to you that if there is heaven, I don't want to generalize, but Igbo and Fulani who are black will go to hellfire. But virtually all the white people will go to heaven. You know why? When they are dealing with each other, with one another, white and white people, when they are always honest when they deal with one another. In United Kingdom, pound sterling, the design of pound sterling, their currency in England is different from the design in Scotland. The same currency, but different design. In England, you will see the head of queen in their currency. In Scotland, you will never see the head of queen because it's the queen of England. It's not the queen of Scotland. They have different football team. They have different Christian association. But black people in Nigeria, Olori Buruku Olofo, Christian Association of Nigeria, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Nigerian Student Association, Medical Association of Nigeria, Engineering Association of Nigeria. I think I have some of their names here. Yeah, I have it. Nigeria Academic of Engineer, Pharmaceutical Association of Nigeria, National Association of Nigeria Prostitutes. Our Igbo. Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria. Everything Nigeria. Everything centralized. Nigeria Society of Chemical Engineering. Sorry, who are you impressing? You don't speak the same language. You don't have the same culture. You don't have the same norms and value system. There is nothing that is same except the color of your skin. English, Scottish, Welsh, and Northern Irish, they have white skin. Everything they run in their country is different. Their language, everything is different. You know why Nigeria is the way it is? Because no Yoruba has been president. That's why they are scared. The Hausa Fulani and the Igbo, they don't want Tinubu to be president. They know that it's going to decentralize Nigeria. Everything we just centralize. Election centralize. Education centralize. Infrastructure centralize. This is not how we. So you blame white people. Oh, white people are horrible. White people. When the English were living in Nigeria, they gave us a decentralized system. Igbo centralize everything in Nigeria. Igbo people, they centralize everything because they lack the good things of life. So they want to appropriate other things. White people that you blame every day of your life. Oh, Nigeria is not great, it's white people. Nigeria is a shito, it's white people. Nigeria is this, it's white people, white people, white people. You hate white people, but it is you yourself who have caused your own problem. English, when they were living, they gave us a decentralized system. Igbo centralized everything. All associations, they say the NBA are fighting. Come to United Kingdom, whether they have United Kingdom Bar Association. No, the association in England is different from the Bar Association in Scotland. Horrible set of people. You conduct election. Look at the beautiful constitution we have. They centralize everything. Elections, you see Yoruba Libra. They shout, they are killing people of Satan Kaduna. Buhari government is shit. Olori Buruku, if you give us decentralized army and decentralized police, you think they are going to be killing people like that? You have a centralized army in which Fulani is the president. He gives weapons to his people. Tell Igbo, this stupid Nnamdi Kanu that is shouting, tell him to support the decentralization of the military and the police. That all the military in Igbo land must be Igbo alone. They must be under the government in Igbo land. All the police in Igbo land must be Igbo alone. They must be under the government of Igbo. He would reject it. This is a criminal that is shouting for Biafra. You know why? Because in Yoruba land, no Igbo will be in police again. No Igbo will be in our military again. So if they are not in our police, in our military, they can't commit the crimes they are committing. They know. If we devolve power of the military and the police back to the region, all the crimes of the Igbo will end in Yoruba land that same day. They are destroying you, Yoruba. That's why blood will flow in Yoruba land. Yoruba land is the battleground, and Lagos. Lagos is not only the battleground, it is the graveyard of the Igbo and Hausa land. That's why they are going to be buried. Let's just look at constituencies. I made mention of the constituency. We have 94 constituencies under regional government. And now, look at the beauty of it. This is when I said to you that under this regional government, it was written in such a way that says that every 8 to 10 years, we must create a new town. New town that we will build houses, road, hospitals, schools, businesses, everything. Every 8 to 10 years. That's what the law says. Read. I'm reading from page 168, guys, if you're following me. Under constituencies. The region shall be divided into as many constituencies as there are members of the House of Assembly, which is Yoruba Parliament. We change it to Yoruba Parliament. By virtue of section 6 of this constitution, and shall be so divided. Look, listen. And shall be so divided in such manner as the competent authority acting with the approval of its legislative house of the region signified by resolution may prescribe. They shall be so divided, the constitution, that they will be very equal. He went on and said, the boundaries of each constituency shall be such that the number of inhabitants thereof is nearly equal to the population quota as is reasonably practicable. The constituency must be equal. They must nearly be equal. The number of people in each constituency must nearly be equal. So the moment you have, let's say, we have 1 million people in each constituency. The moment the number gets to 2 million, you create a new town. He says, I'm going to move quickly away from there. Let me read that. He said, provided that the number of inhabitants of a constituency may be greater or less than the population quota in order to take account of means of communication, geographical features, and the distribution of different communities. While we are creating new constituencies, we must be conscious of the geographical features and the distribution of different communities. For instance, if you want to create a new constituency in Lagos, when you have Awori people in one side, you have to be conscious of their community. That's what he's saying. But there's another one that is very important in which you must take note of it. He said, the competent authority shall review the division of the region into constituencies at interval of not less than 8 and not more than 10 years, and may alter the constituencies in accordance with the provision of this section to such extent as it may consider desirable in the light of this review. Is saying that the Electoral Commission every 8 years, but not more than 10 years, will review the constituencies and create new constituencies. It's the Electoral Commission that will do that. Who creates constituency in Nigeria? Is not by federal government fiat. Federal government will be creating constituency for Yoruba people. That's why they created local government and gave themselves. Like you read it quite all right in this constitution that we, Yoruba, we created our own local government. That was why Tinubu created local government and that Obasanjo disagreed with him. You think such a man will be president of Nigeria, doesn't know what he's doing. That is the man that will give you Oduduwa Republic. If you truly desire Oduduwa Republic, you think Fulani want him, Buhari don't want Tinubu to be president of Nigeria. In his heart of heart, you don't know the power of the presidency. Igbo would rather have Tinubu dead than for him to be president of Nigeria. The Yoruba Libra want to shogun, shepe, shebubwe, kaye Tinubu baje, come on the president of Nigeria. Because they know that is the man that can change your life. But don't be foolish, conservative. We've been saying this to you. We are campaigning for APC because they are conservative like us. We have told you the moment we put them in power, we are going for protests. That is why we are going to hit the ground running. We're going to go for protests, a civilized protest in which people who will participate in the protest, people who participate in protests in this country, they have benefit, they collect benefit from government. So whether they work or not, something is going into their account. But we don't still have that system, which we used to have under regional government. We were running welfare benefit. My mother mentioned it yesterday when she spoke. But the kind of protest we emphasize is that we will talk to different organizations that will give people food, morning, afternoon, and in the evening. So people will be eating 3 square meals protesting. So it will be sitting. We go to the airport, we sit in, we cancel all flights. I'll be big boy there. Nobody will pick up the phone. Grandson, what's the barrier? I like, you don't share. Kilo shele. Esa. Kusoro. Awe si yari o. Kusoro. Ma bola buja. Ah, la ye. Me wasa buja. Àwọn people yẹn ò ṣì ní. Ẹ máa wá sèkó ní o sá. Mi lè wá sèkó mo busy. Ah, irọ́. Àwọn boys ò ní gba má sọ fún ẹ gbọ́. Aṣíwájú lọ́wọ́ fẹ́ wá sí ká wá sàbújá o. Ṣé máa lọ? Àwọn boys rárá o. Ẹ máa wá sèkó ní o. Ìgbà ni ká ṣe meeting ẹ̀gbọ́n. Ah, mo ní ẹ̀gbọ́n. Popsi, àǹgàlà máa pè ní ojú gbogbo wa ló lè bí wa lọ́mọ. Popsi. Ẹ wá sèkó ká sọ̀rọ̀. Oyè Tinubu máa wá kò ní kó bọn jáde fún yín kó máa pa yín dànù bí Fúlàní ṣe ń pa yín gbé Ìgbò síbẹ̀ kò fi jẹ president á pa gbogbo yín dànù ni ẹ̀yin mélòó ẹ̀tẹ́ ti ya wèrè libra òfò wọ́n máa attack ṣe wọ́n máa attack ara ẹgbẹ́ ṣe attack Awólọ́wọ̀ nìyẹn Tinubu á pa yín ni ìran yín ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fẹ́ pa ẹ fẹ́ gbẹ̀mí ẹ̀ guys ó mọ̀ kátà kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó ní bọ́n ṣe máa ń bú mi wọ́n bí ìyá aláya wọn rè náà wọ́n máa bú mi wọ́n ti sú wọn ọlọ́pàá ti gbé mi wọ́n gbé mi jùlẹ̀ náà ni ó yẹ ó ti sú wọn wọ́n threaten mi wọ́n máa deport mi wọ́n threaten mi wọ́n máa assassinate mi wọ́n threaten mi wọ́n máa ṣe gbá wọ́n threaten mi olùsí wọ́n bí ìyá wọn rè sí kan máa bú mi wọ́n máa bú mi wọ́n á jókòó wọ́n á kò ní iṣẹ́ olùsí wèrè madman àwọn olófò gbogbo wọn ló ń copy gbogbo nǹkan tí mò ń ṣe ń sìn gbogbo àwọn tó ń bú mi gbà àwọn ló ń pariwo Odùduwà Republic ṣe wọn kàn copy everything tá à ń ṣe àwọn olófò Kétu tó ń bínú ológo wèrè. So you see, we were creating our own new towns, new constituency. We created our own local government. This is exactly what Tinubu did when he was governor. He was the first person who created local government as a governor before others start copying from him. There is a passage here that I need to read. He said, provided that the authority may at any time carry out such a review and alter the constituencies in accordance with the provision of this section to such extent as it considers necessary in consequence of any alteration of the boundaries of the region by the reason of the holding of a census of the population of the region in pursuant of any law in force in the region. So the Constitution says that we must have equal inhabitant of people in each constituencies. So if you have 500,000 people in each constituencies, the moment they get to 700,000 people, you create a new boundary. They do it in England like that. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But Fulani will just sit down and say, I created this, with no legitimate reason whatsoever. So the Constitution says that if it means counting the number of people to decide the new constituency that has to be created, it has to be done. What that means, that section means that under regional government, we conducted our own census. The last legitimate and genuine census conducted in Nigeria was the census of 1952/1953. We Yoruba, we conducted our own census ourselves, December 1952. Igbo and Hausa Fulani conducted their own in January and February 1953. We do not have the same census. But when the Igbo suspended regional government, Buhari, Fulani, they would just sit down and say, Hausa Fulani are this million number of people. Because they use population to share money. That's why they give you fake population. They tell you Nigeria is 200 million. And they call them Baranyson. Nigeria is this 100 million. They just give stupid, unrealistic figures. That's what they do. This section is telling you that we conduct our own census ourselves, not the federal government. Igbo just came and centralized our life. I'll read from paragraph 6. I'm still talking about this electoral commission, which is very important. We're going to end it for today anyway. It says, number 6, for the purposes of this section, the number of inhabitants of the region shall be ascertained by reference to the latest census of the population of the region, held in pursuant of any law in force in the region. We conduct our own election. It says, number 7, it says, in this section, the competent authority means the electoral commission of the region or such other authority. It is the electoral commission that are conducting election and census in our own region. The people that are doing election, our own electoral commission, they also conduct census in Yoruba land. It says, in this section, the competent authority means the electoral commission of the region or such other authority consisting of the person appointed by the governor, which is Oni of Ife, acting in accordance with the advice of the premier, as may be established in that behalf by the legislature of the region. It is Oni of Ife who must appoint people that will conduct election in Yoruba land, and the same people will conduct census in Yoruba land. Who conduct election in Yoruba land now? Fucking federal government. Who conduct census in Yoruba land? Fucking shit federal government. You know what Tinubu did when he was governor? When Obasanjo conducted election in 2006, I was in Lagos then. Tinubu came with his own electoral official. They sat side by side with the federal official. At the end of that election, Tinubu figure was different from that of the federal government. People that sat together to conduct the election, yet the federal government gave ridiculous number for Lagos State. Igbo destroy your life, Yoruba, not Fulani. So you continue to blame people who are your secondary problem. Our number one problem in Yoruba land is the Igbo. We must reduce them in our space. We must not allow them to come in. You can see it is Oni of Ife who must appoint people into the Yoruba Electoral Commission. And it is this commission that must conduct election in Yoruba land. They must also conduct census in Yoruba land. Tell the Igbo, go and count your people. Tell the Hausa Fulani, count your own people and conduct your own. They will say no. Igbo will say no. We be one Nigeria. Do we speak the same language? No. Do we have the same culture? No. Do we have the same norms and value system? No. So what makes us the same thing? Stupid people, because we are black. Weary. So why are we not the same with white? Because white and black, they are both human beings. So why do you discriminate? They open their mouth, they hate white people. But we remind them that Igbo and Yoruba are not the same. They say, no. We're the same thing now. We're Nigeria, one Nigeria. But they want us to collectively hate white people that are the same human being as us. Tell Fulani that you count your own people, we count our own people. They will say no. Nigeria is not negotiable. They fumble a lot. Fulani, Nigeria is not negotiable. We are going to kill anybody. If you say that we will not, Fulani will be telling you they want to destroy Lagos. Fulani that are controlling the port in Lagos, controlling the custom in Lagos, controlling the airport in Lagos, controlling the waterways in Lagos, control our border in Lagos. They threaten you, they are going to destroy Lagos. Is it possible? They are telling you what they scare the most, the destruction of Lagos. And we will destroy that Lagos if they won't allow us to rule them. Because we are the owner of the wealth. We must rule you, Igbo and Hausa Fulani. So the authority to create new constituency in Yoruba land is given to the Electoral Commission appointed by the Oni of Ife. But today we blame Oni of Ife, we blame Alaafin. He's got no power. He's a Tetula king. Igbo have taken all over his power. They've taken over his power. Give everything to the federal government. That is why you will see Ooni of Ife goes to Buhari, bow down his head. Because Igbo, through organized violence, destroyed Yoruba land. We are going to get back our freedom via organized violence. Another beautiful thing that you can see from the Constitution, I'm reading from page 169, paragraph 15. It says, every constituency established under section 14 of this Constitution shall return to the House of Assembly one member who shall be directly elected in such manner as may be prescribed by the legislature of the region. So if a new constituency is created, they must have a representative at the Yoruba parliament. An election must be conducted. Another paragraph says, the registration of voters at election to the House of Assembly and the conduct of such election shall be subject to the direction and supervision of the Electoral Commission of the region. You see? So voter registration to the House of Assembly. The conduct of such elections shall be subject to the direction and supervision of the Electoral Commission of the region. It is our own Electoral Commission that must register voter. It is fucking federal government that are doing that in Yoruba land. Courtesy of horrible, criminally minded Igbo who wanted to destroy our life. So you can see, guys. Okay. So many people that are watching us making comments. Sorry, guys, we're reaching out to you from a lot of platforms. We just improvise some things and we're just testing some of these things. Sometimes you might see my eyes facing the up and you might see my eyes facing down because I have to talk to different platforms that I'm checking it out from. So you can see that. So when we create new constituencies, there must be election that has to be conducted. And this election must be supervised by the Electoral Commission, who appoint the Electoral Commission Ooni of Ife, not even your politician, but your natural leader, Ooni of Ife. Determination of the question of membership of the Legislative House. So where you conduct elections and there are disputes, like the election of Osun State, between the dancing senator and the current governor of Osun State. That election went to the tribunal up to Abuja. Under regional government, this wasn't the case. Every election dispute will have to end at our High Court. The High Court of the region shall have original jurisdiction to hear and determine any question whether any person has been validly selected or elected as a member of a legislative house of the region, or the seat in a legislative house of any member of that house has become vacant. The legislature of the region, let me stop there first. So where we have disagreement, of course, we politicians, we always dispute election result. But in this case, if Ooni of Ife, who is going to appoint the electoral official, is not going to appoint people of horrible, discredited character, no. That will be the best of us who are going to be neutral. But regardless, where there is dispute, it is the High Court in Yoruba land that the case will transfer to. Not going to Abuja to resolve political differences that happen in our regions. Igbo made it so, centralized everything because they thought they would be president of Nigeria forever. They thought they would have the power forever. So they centralized everything to control, dominate, suppress, and subjugate us. In 1949, Zeke spoke. He said that the God of the Igbo have created them to take over power from the English. They see themselves as another colonial masters. That was why they destroyed Nigeria. But Fulani are working on that template of the destruction of Igbo. Fulani don't wish to give up power. They are scared of Tinubu getting the presidency. Very scared of that happening. The English are thinking for them. But we are happy that the Tinubu and his people are also reaching out to America. Otherwise, forget it. You won't get there. Look at this. Any disagreement of election in Yoruba land will be decided by the Yoruba High Court. But all electoral dispute now, everything goes to Abuja. There's another one that I have marked that it said, the legislature of the region may take provision with respect to the person who may apply to the High Court of the region for the determination of any question under this section. The circumstances and manner in which the condition upon which any such application may be made, the powers, practice, and procedure of the High Court in relation to such application. So tomorrow, you're going to read, I'm going to follow up more, not tomorrow, because we're going to get to the section of the courts in Yoruba land. You will see how beautiful this thing has been done. Clerk to the legislative house and their chiefs. Folks, you don't really need much about that. You know that every parliament has clerk. We had the same as well. So I don't want to bother your head with that for now. So this will be the end of day 2 of the Constitution. We are still on chapter 2 of the Constitution of Western region, which is Yoruba land. But the chapter 2 is in 3 parts. I've just spoken on part 1, which talks about the legislature. That's what I have spoken about. So tomorrow I will continue on part 2 of the same chapter 2, which is procedure in legislative house. One thing I want you to take away from tonight is this. One thing. When the English colonized us, they respected our differences. They respected our differences. In fairness to the English colonial talks, they did not arrest Awolowo for one day. And Awolowo started confronting the English at the age of 23 years old. Not for one day was he ever arrested. You see, I've been to the English court 3 times now, 3 times. Their judges are always very neutral. Believe you me, even though they are white, it is their police that are irresponsible, but their judges, they've seen it all. When I addressed the judges, the first one I won, the judge was apologizing to me because the police beat the hell out of me and dumped me in prison for 5 months. The judge was apologizing to me because I was saying to the judge that what I want to do in my heart of heart, go back to my country and do the same thing to English. Anyone that I can just see, humiliate and beat them silly. I can't say that they are pious, but they have the highest level of education. Look, the one I'm going to court with them, they just said to them initially when we get to court, why do you bring a case of inflammatory language? They went and changed it to racial hatred. You know, they are very honest, they are judges. It's their police that I disagree with, I don't like. When the English were with us, they did not arrest Awolowo. Believe you me, we have to be honest when we speak. Awolowo was the one-man soldier with his lieutenant who compelled English to leave. They wanted them to leave in 1957. The English stayed for 3 additional years. Igbo and Fulani, they were cool with the English. Awolowo said no. But these people did not arrest this guy. The English left on the 1st of October, 1960. Now you count it. On 29th of May, 1962, Awolowo was first placed on under house arrest by Igbo and Fulani. black people with black skin, right? Igbo and Fulani place him under house arrest. Now let's count from October 1960. By 1st of October 1961, that is 2 years. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 1 year and 7 months. English were there when Awolowo was 23 years old, confronting them, shouting at them, doing all manners of things. Not a single arrest. They left just under 1 year and 7 months. Igbo with black skin, Hausa Fulani with black skin, first put Awolowo under house arrest. By September 1963, they jailed him 10 years. So all of your problem, Libra, hey, 1914 amalgamation is the problem of Nigeria. Hey, amalgamation is the problem of Nigeria. Fuck you. It is the Igbo who caused the problem of Nigeria. 3 people agreed to something. Look at the United States of America. Look at the United Kingdom. Look, let me first tell you how United Kingdom was formed. In 1535, go and see it. The English passed a law in their parliament that they should form a union with the Welsh. They sent that bill to the Welsh. In 1542 rather, 1542. First, 1535, the English passed a law in their own parliament saying they want to form a union with the Welsh. In 1542, the Welsh passed a law in their own parliament that they want to form a union with the English, so they became one. Then the Scottish saw the beauty of that. And in 1701, the English and the Welsh passed a law in their various parliaments saying that they want the Scottish to join them in their union. By 1706, the Scottish also passed a law in their home parliament that they want to join England, Wales together to form one union. They call it Great Britain. Then their next door neighbor, the Irish, in 1801 saying, I would like to join you too. I want to be part of your union. You see how people are deliberating and making decisions? The Irish joined them. They became the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. In 1922, the Irish left because they're not happy with the system anymore. They left. What happened in America? It is the same thing that I just told you. English, French, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and Belgian. They left their respective countries in Europe, moved down to America. They decided, these 7 people, they said, we must have federalism, presidential system, and we must create states, and the state must be independent. They must run their own police, run their own military, run their own taxes. They agreed. And that is the system they are still using. White people, white skin, right? Maybe you are always saying that, yeah, black and white, we are the same. No one is superior to another. Is that not what you are always saying? Why is it your own different as black people? Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo agreed for 3 years, negotiating that we must, if we must stay as one, it must be based on parliamentary system under regional government. Is that not it? They signed the constitution, agreed, everybody went home and sit down. But the Igbo were thinking in their mind that they don't like it, that they want to take other people's things. So 6 years later, they came with guns, kill everybody. And you blame white people. Igbo are evil. We've read them. They are evil-minded people. That is why God Almighty has not blessed them. They are the worst in Africa. Everywhere they go to, they are humiliated publicly. Everywhere. Any nation that allows evil to move into their space, such a nation will come down. That is the problem of the Yoruba. But fortunately for us, Tinubu is their Waterloo. Check out countries. Go to France. They are practicing regional government. Look at Ghana. Ghana started with regional system of government. The military came, messed up everything. Ghana is today a great country, well recognized all over the world. They went back to regional government. Look at South Africa. They are practicing regional government. In Kenya, people fought and killed each other. The ethnic groups are fighting each other because they adopted unity system. They went back to regional government. That's why there's peace. Look at Ethiopia. For years, Eritrea were saying, we don't want unity system. Ethiopia were killing them. They went to war. Eritrea broke away. Today, Ethiopia has gone back to regional system of government. Nigeria is a problem because of Igbo people. Igbo people are the problem of Nigeria. If you reduce them to their corner, there will be peace in Nigeria. If you bring back regional government, there will be peace in Nigeria. We must push Igbo back to Igbo land. This must be clearly defined. That is why Tinubu has been saying that he is a supporter of decentralized democracy. Be given their 5 states, plus the Igbo part of Delta State and the Igbo part of River State. They must be called Igbo region. They must conduct their own election themselves, control their own police, control their own military, control their own taxes, have devolved power to govern themselves. They must go back to their homeland and make it great. They are the problem of Nigeria. United States of America is great today because 7 people agree to a constitution, to a political system of government, and today that system is still in use. It is the same thing in United Kingdom. These are white folks who sat down together and agreed to something. Why must it be different with black people? It is because of the Igbo. They are the problem of Nigeria. So Libra, you are shouting up and down that the amalgamation is your problem. It is your friend, the Igbo criminals. And we are using this opportunity to warn Yoruba women. You would jeopardize the future of your children if you marry Igbo men, because we are going to discriminate against your children in Yoruba land. These guys are evil-minded. They are criminals. They are the problem of Nigeria. They destroy and agree constitution. They destroy and agree political system. They don't want Biafra. They want to take other people's homeland. They will pay severely for their actions in this generation. The same criminality of Zik is the same criminality of Ojukwu. It is the same criminality of Nnamdi Kanu. Lagos will be your graveyard by the special grace of God. Good night.